Bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4RBs.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees. Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody had a great day today. And thank you for joining myself, Cecil, Tolley, and Steven, especially during the fact, and especially since the Redneck Brawl's happening right now. It's really
Oh, yeah.
tuned in.
You're giving up the Redneck Brawl to be here with us.
Yeah.
But I think we've all seen enough of Daryl Hinkle.
Yeah.
Hey, Roddy and Crystal.
What's up, y'all? Let me get the comments turned on.
Ronnie was real early today.
Yes.
That's how it goes. And thank you for joining us tonight as we go through some truly bizarre and sometimes nefarious conspiracy videos.
Yeah.
And other videos that are not conspiracy videos, things of that nature. But I don't have control of the videos tonight. So
Well, no, I took them whenever your computer bombed.
Yeah.
Let me see. Plus, I've gotten really pro at this, where I'm doing the cooking videos every week.
yeah,
I can just bang them out. So
yeah, you can.
so I wanted to start out with something funny though, as always. So this is a new song
Oh God.
debuted, and it's just for everybody. This is by Cowboy Scooter.
Cowboy Scooter.
So hopefully we can hear this.
Every appliance in my house is just a spy robot. The fridge and the freezer too, they're also spy robots. Careful of that toaster, cause it ain't making bread. It's a 13-foot Android robot and it wants your head. That fridge and that freezer, they're playing with your mind. They'll empty out your bank account and leave your ass behind. Every appliance in my
That
If we-
was legit.
If we live to be in our 60s, that will be us more likely.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, right now you can go to Walmart and buy 85-inch TV for like $428. Nothing weird about that. Nothing strange about that.
Everything's watching. Everything's
Yeah.
listening. Your toaster's going to call the police on you. It's the year 2032.
Yeah.
The car won't start because you haven't taken your SSRIs today. Like,
Yeah.
What's so weird is normal people are starting to get tuned into it because Mandy is one of the most normal people in the world. And I'll start going off about something crazy in the car, and she'll go, shh, and she'll point up to the Bluetooth. like the navigation.
well, I told you the story. So I had a Ford recently that I do not have anymore. And one day the sun was shining perfectly to where it was kind of glaring off the rear view mirror. And I noticed a two-way mirror. So I got to looking with a light, and sure enough, there is a camera facing me in the rear view mirror, and this vehicle did not have dash cams. You couldn't access that camera. So who was watching it?
That's just extra technology we put in all of them, but you got to pay a little extra so you can access it.
If I even went to their website, you cannot use that as a dash cam. So it was literally just delivering data for Ford.
Yeah.
Yes, Ronnie. You're also on the list.
We're on the list, brother. Believe that.
I know. Dude, everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I truly believe I am on a list. I've got my carry conceal, right? With your carry conceal, you should be able to just go in and buy a gun and leave with the gun.
Yeah.
I have to go through a background check every time. Every time with that, yeah. I don't know why. I have no idea. So
we can talk after the show.
Jenny must have got arrested last night. She's MIA tonight so far.
Yeah.
You know, she's been commenting on Next though. She got back on. She's back in it.
Good.
So I've got. Let's see. We got 5 videos about viruses and the Hana virus that we promised everybody.
I read today that they don't think it's going to be a epidemic because it's so hard to transmit. But then I read another thing directly after it. This is a new epidemic. It's so easy to transfer. So I don't know.
Well, it's like I was telling you guys last night. I think, I won't get into all the details like we did, but I think that the Hana virus thing and they released the Epstein suicide note this past week too.
Yeah,
it's like, actually, I'm just killing myself, guys. Like the worst suicide note ever.
Wrote on a ledger that says 2026 on it, probably.
Yeah. So, I think the Hana virus and the Epstein suicide note is just a big distraction from all of the failures that are happening, that continues to fail. And you could even add to that the UFO release yesterday with all the new videos and files and stuff. It's like, think about every time our government screws something up over the last 10 years, it's aliens. And then it's pandemic.
The way the CIA has released these alien files too is kind of like when you get tired or something, you're like, here, just look at it, make your own decisions. Because that's what they said. They said, we're just putting it out and anybody it looks like can make their own decision.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. We're all in agreement. Population control is what it is about. And we may be in the middle of a reset right now. I mean, if a lot of people are disappearing, how would we truly know about it? Because, I mean, I'm not able to go overseas or into other countries and see.
Well, we got into some segmentation last time we had a watch party. We've still got 2 huge segments of AI and food problems. Mm-hmm. And the food problems are mounting.
Yeah.
But we promised Hana virus first tonight. So we're going to do some Hana virus talk. And first up, we got the Dre video. There's a couple Dre videos, actually.
So Dre,
she's always pretty... obviously, she's a little bit left-leaning in her disposition or whatever, but we listen to everybody. We hear opinions.
Right. I think she's just left-leaning because of our perspective. If we standing behind her, she'd be kind to the right.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, fun fact Friday for you guys. Did you know that the U.S. left the WHO, the World Health Organization?
But we try to
2026.
She may people that we listen to. Some of them may be a little bit right, some of them may be a little bit left. But we listen to everybody because we don't give a shit about politics in that way.
Yeah, because we're
the things
we try to be unbiased. I think is what I'm trying to
let everybody talk. I mean,
yes,
that's where we are.
That exists so that whenever a outbreak happens somewhere in the world, the rest of the world finds out about it. Yeah, we left that organization. But don't worry, our ideological bestie, Argentina, did the same thing on March 17th, except isn't it interesting how 3 days later, then a cruise ship left Port Argentina carrying a passenger with the only known strain of hantavirus ever documented to spread person to person. Except that person on April 11th, and nobody was told until May 2nd because, oh, that's right, neither country involved were legally required to, because both of them had left the thing that would have required them to have to tell someone. We only found out because the UK were the ones who filed the paperwork to the WHO because the body had gotten dropped off at one of the British islands, and the British are apparently the last ones still showing up to things. So, and the Americans from that ship are now being held at the National Quarantine Unit, and the scientists there still aren't required to share what they find internationally because, say it with me, folks, we left that framework too. And what, now Pete Hegseth wants to talk about rescinding COVID-19 parameters? Oh, the White House is focused on UFO files? What'd you run out of freaking redacted Epstein files or something?
Hello, Landa.
Oh,
Hey, Amanda.
Yeah, so that's the first. I mean, what do you think of? Do you think that it could all be a big hoax?
I don't know. Probably.
It is very coincidental that we left and then they left and then it happens in that country.
Yeah. But,
I mean, it could be coincidental. It could be we told you not to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. I didn't even think about that angle.
Yeah, that angle there, would be the angle that I'd probably go to first, for me, because we did something that the club didn't want us to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm with you. That tracks. Honestly,
It's like an abusive relationship. Like you ain't going nowhere. You know?
Yes.
yeah. And this is a follow-up from 3 days ago.
Now, something is off about this cruise ship in the Atlantic with the hantavirus outbreak, and I cannot let it go. This is the MV Hondius, an expedition cruise ship owned and operated by Oceanwide Expeditions. And the route went from Argentina through Antarctica and the South Atlantic, with stops in South Georgia and Tristan da Cunha and St. Helena, all before heading towards Cape Verde. And I'm sorry, how is it that there are 147 people on board, with 3 people dead, 7 confirmed cases of the hantavirus, and the only video we've all seen from inside the ship is one guy named Jake crying in his cabin? No, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it, okay? Because you're talking to somebody who watches a lot of cruise ship drama on TikTok. In fact, it is one of my favorite TikTok subgenres that exists, okay? I watch it all the time. And if there's one thing that I've learned from those TikTokers, it is that if someone so much as catches a stomach flu on a Carnival cruise, there are 19 TikToks, 4 Facebook Lives, and some woman named Brenda locked in a closet filming herself saying, please help us, like it's the frickin' Blair Witch Project. So I decided to investigate. Not a full rabbit hole because I have other investigations that require my attention right now, but what I did find was interesting. So first I went looking for the original Jake video because, like many of you, the first time I saw it was on the CBS TikTok account, which is a company owned by Larry Ellison now, but I digress. I couldn't find the original video anywhere, but luckily CBS did put in the tippy top corner of the video Jake's username on TikTok, so I went to his page to see if I could find it there. No. So I started scrolling through Jake's page and I learned that he is a Boston travel content creator and he's been to like hundreds of countries, although none of his videos have gotten like a super high amount of views, but yet he's got 5.6 million. I just know that's weird. Anyways, he's got sponsorship links, he's got collaborations, he's got a Yahoo email. And if you go over to TikTok shop, he's hawking a bunch of travel consumerism junk. And I'm scrolling through his posts and he's got this weird PR statement as one of them. Mind you, he didn't even post the video that he sent to CBS on his own account, remember? So I don't know, it's weird. But then I hit this penguin video from the trip, and it's a stunning video with a high resolution camera. And I mean, look, the sky is insane. It's clearly very beautiful. But just keep in mind what this sky looks like, okay? Because it's gonna come back later. In fact, his photos and videos are so beautiful, it is kind of hard to believe that it's not AI. No, but Michael.Elizabeth08. So I went to Google and searched for the name of the ship, the MV Hondius, filtered the dates to be before the outbreak became public, and went to videos to see if I had missed anything, because this is the exact kind of trip where you would normally see people posting pictures of wildlife or videos of the sunset or rough seas with the yo-ho sound, cabin tours, meals, anything. The only videos are from Jake Rosemarian. This is weird. And then I read about one other passenger who was quoted in BBC and AP coverage named Kazem Hato, also known online as Ibn Hattuta. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This guy. And he sent over footage over WhatsApp to AP News and BBC, and he gave them quotes specifically saying, actually, morale is high. People are watching movies, reading, and drinking hot drinks. 3 people are dead. And then it gets even weirder because he's posting stuff like this on his story. You can pause to read it, but the second paragraph says, this whole situation has been blown out of proportion, partly because of one person panicking on the ship whose video has been circulating on the media. While his reaction is valid, it doesn't represent the situation on board. Everyone else, 148 out of 149, has been calm. The situation is under control, and we just wish those who are sick a speedy recovery. And his videos also look cinematic, except if you'll notice, his sky is blue. His video clips around a lot, but from every which angle, it's the same blue sky. You mean to tell me that both of these content creators were there during sunset and Jake's the only one that got a video with the beautiful pink orange sky? Fools. They think we're fools. I mean, come on. You expect us to believe that after the outbreak happens and people are locked in their rooms forced to quarantine and the only 2 passengers from inside the ship we hear from are 2 travel influencers? Nope, absolutely not. As a dedicated consumer of cruise drama TikTok, I reject this whole premise. Look, maybe the cruise company told them they weren't allowed to post, maybe the Wi-Fi is bad, or maybe everybody on that cruise ship just genuinely has great self-control, in which case, good for them. But I'm just saying the silence to severity ratio is weird. And something is off about
it. Is weird.
It is. It is. And it seems like they've already put out, information out here that's kind of contradicting each other, and that's to create divide. You're going to have the people that go crazy like, oh, there's a plague killing everybody. Then there's going to be people like, no, it's bullshit. And they're already laying the foundation. With COVID, they didn't even have to do it.
Well, I'm already seeing scolding, like sort of in the first video where they're like, of course we left the WHO. Like, it's all because we left the WHO and this and that. And what did they really do for us, though?
Yeah. And the thing, like I said earlier today, I seen one that said was a college report said, oh, this isn't going to be a new outbreak because it's hard to transmit. And then the very next one I seen was, this is going to be a new outbreak. It's very easy to transmit. And I even seen a video of not a video, but they posted a picture of patient 0. Said the way that he contracted it was he went to a landfill to bird watch. And they're saying, do you blame him for this new pandemic? Is what the picture said. Do you blame him for the pandemic?
Okay. Well, wasn't it last year that they were reporting the first animal to human bird flu? Sickness.
And again, it's all timing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it was right. I think it was right around the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It seems
exactly.
like we get this time of year every year. Yeah. We were the ones who were funding them for the most part.
Yeah, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And let's not forget monkeypox. Whatever happened to monkeypox? That was supposed to be the big thing.
SARS.
Yeah.
SARS. I remember the swine flu, whenever it went around. I couldn't tell that it was any different from any other flu. I didn't get it, but my wife and oldest daughter did.
Let's not forget that 6G is rolling out right now too.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
There you go.
When the last time when the new G rolled out, when 5G rolled out, that was in what, late 2019?
Yep.
Yep.
Same thing when radio happened. Like when they first rolled out radio, I think it lined up with the 1918
Spanish flu, I think.
Yep. Yeah. And I've got a video challenging virology, by the way, that we're going to watch after a while too, specifically for this conversation. Because, there's people out there that don't believe that viruses exist in the way that they say that they do. And this guy makes a pretty good case about it. So
right.
Dr. CB thought that all this stuff was caused from mucus. Like all these illnesses were from mucus. And to eat the proper things and drink the proper things would get rid of the mucus, which will get rid of your sicknesses.
Right.
I can't say he's wrong because I'm constantly full of mucus now and I'm constantly sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right, here's another angle. Let's see. Look at that guy.
Hey, it's conspiracy time. And yes, it's about the cruise ship that's currently holding passengers that also has the hantavirus. Let's back up to a few weeks ago. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy appears.
Sail with me across the Atlantic Ocean Hi, I'm Jake, and I'm spending the next 35 days crossing the Atlantic visiting some of the most remote islands in the world.
That's Jake, and he's a travel content creator. Never had seen him before in my entire life, but the algorithm does what it does, and it just starts feeding you new videos that you might have not seen before. He's cute, he's engaging, whatever. Flash forward to about a week ago, I get the video that I just showed you, which was Jake's intro video to the boat that he's currently on, which happens to be the one with the hantavirus. 3 weeks ago, I started seeing him on my page. Then I see that video a few times, and I don't think anything of it until there's a lone passenger from this cruise ship reporting about this virus that's on the ship. And guess who it is? Yeah, it's Jake. So you're telling me a few weeks ago, his videos just randomly started popping up on my page, and he just happens to be on this ship that happens to have this virus, and he just happens to be the only person on the ship reporting the news from the ship? Like, what was the algorithm grooming me for 3 to 4 weeks ago? You guys kind of...
It is weird.
He's not wrong. I've seen a video of this kid just pop.
Me too.
A while back, and I don't look up travel stuff. I travel. I don't have to look the shit up. But like if I'm just on drive, I pull out this holler and I go, which way you want to go? And that's what we do.
Another foreboding by one of the greatest shows on earth.
Oh yeah.
It's not the hantavirus. It looks for all the world like the hantavirus, but I can promise you that it's not. Well, I mean, she exhibited all the symptoms, the hemorrhagic fever, the severe chills, acute shock. But, I mean, the thing is that they all developed in a matter of seconds. And the hantavirus doesn't kill that fast. I mean, no virus in the world kills that fast.
You're talking about the hantavirus right before she died? Why?
Because she kept bringing it up. I mean, it was like the power of suggestion, Mulder. She was standing there, she was saying that she was afraid of contagion. And then all of a sudden, she was
afraid.
It's not the hantavirus. It looked for...
You know, there's a lot of foreboding in general on the X-Files.
Oh yeah.
The one about AI is terrifying, and it was in the early 90s when they had that episode.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on X-Files. Strangely enough, that one show that came on Netflix that was wildly successful that they killed after 2 seasons, that cartoon. I can't remember the name of it now. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
That sucks.
They got too close to the truth. Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Black Mirror. That's why they've been throttling that too.
Yeah.
So this is the virology conversation.
When you simply just ask virologists, as I have done and other molecular biologists, like, why can't you isolate, purify, characterize, and sequence a virus directly from the fluids of a sick person, which is where you're claiming that it is. It's not like I'm claiming that. You're claiming that this obligate intracellular parasite consisting of a proteinaceous coat surrounding a core of genetic material is inside the fluids of a sick person, transmitted from that person to another person, causing illness. And why can't you prove that it's actually there, which is what you're saying? Here's what they typically say. The virus is too weak to isolate or purify directly from the fluids. Okay, let's think about that. You say it's too weak to isolate or purify directly from the fluids, but it's this highly pathogenic entity that lands on a surface, survives on a surface for upwards of 2 to 3 days, if not a week, makes it to a body, makes it to a cell, breaks into the cell, hijacks the cell's machinery, begins a replication process where it's excreted out of that person, does the same thing over again, but it's too weak to isolate or purify directly from the fluids. Not only does that not add up logically, but it's still fallacious because it's begging the question of the existence of the virus before actually establishing that they exist. And it's also a reification fallacy because it's assigning characteristics to something that is still fundamentally abstract and not concrete and proven in reality. Or they'll say there's not enough virus present to isolate or purify directly from the fluids. Okay, anyone can Google this. How many virus particles are in one sneeze or one cough? Some results will say 20 million. Some results will say 200 million, whatever. They're saying there's not enough of this highly pathogenic entity inside the fluids of a sick person to isolate or purify directly from the fluids. Doesn't make sense. When you simply just ask virologists, as I have done in other molecular biology.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right on. I've lost sound. I'll be back.
No, that was me.
Oh. You pulled a Morgana on me.
I was on mute. I was on mute. No, I did text you though. It whenever only when videos are playing, it's clipping a little bit. But what do you guys think? I know you've heard this argument a bunch about virology.
Yeah,
like it does seem peculiar that they wouldn't be able to isolate a virus from the source of sickness like that.
Yeah,
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I've heard it explained in a different way, or slightly different way. You know, it's where the reason why people get sick is because your body goes through a transformation, every once a year or whatever. I mean, you're shedding old cells and all this other stuff. So it's and you go through it every year. So that could be part of the reason why we have a flu season or we have a whatever season, I don't know. I've heard it explained in different ways, but I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that when you do get sick and you get a really bad sickness, like I had there just a few weeks ago, I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I ate 3 times in that week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Before I finally regained some of my appetite.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of scared about this one because if it does become an outbreak, I feel like COVID, the people that didn't take out that have long form COVID right now, which I suffer from that. The last time I got COVID, my chest was just congested all the hell and back. It's not been not congested since then. Like, I can cough right now and spit up stuff. Like, it's crazy.
Well, Crystal, that's the other thing, I know every year whenever the pollen is really bad. Hey, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
She has a friend that is a virologist. But yeah, I know whenever spring rolls around, a lot of people, they have really bad allergies and stuff, but that's because the trees are putting off what they are, That's a lot of times, the wind blows just right and you can just see a cloud of pollen going through the air.
Well, pollen is ridiculous right now. It's insane. Yeah. We have a blue car out here, and every morning, every day, it's almost like it's turned almost green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's partly the government's fault too. They eradicated and were only planting male trees for a long time. The government would only plant male trees when they were building cities and stuff. Yeah. That's part of the problem. And same with the epidemic of Bradford pears. They're an invasive species of tree. And especially up here in the spring, you look they're the first thing to bloom. And there's millions of them. And all that's blowing pollen.
And we got Bradford pear out here. And we've cut we cut it down. It's broke apart because they're softwood. They just break.
Yeah, they're brittle.
And like in a year, we have a cluster right around that tree of about 40 of them. And I gotta go out sometime soon and just hack them all down. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So that tree is a producer then. Yeah. What Tully was saying. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the pollen process. That's where the male and the female trees have to combine their pollen to be able to reproduce. So.
And that's the story of the birds and the bees, folks.
It was just like Bill Gates, and he planned on releasing just what was it, all male mosquitoes or something like that, so they wouldn't be able to reproduce.
Yeah.
Well, they say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they do stink. They do stink, Crystal. I didn't see when that comment coming in or when the comment came in, but they did. It was I don't know why they did that, but it's definitely the government again. All the kudzu you see in the South, government. The government paid people in the 1800s to plant kudzu as crop cover.
Yeah, that worked out very well. Very well.
Yeah. Someday, if I go through there again, I'll take a picture of some kudzu. It's killed out everything.
It's bad. It's really bad down where Crystal and Cecil are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It's way worse on like the south side of Clay County, I would say, like the southern part of Clay, and going into Leslie County area.
It does look cool.
And the cool thing about kudzu is, if it comes down to it, you could probably build a shelter under it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
All right, we're into general conspiracies for a minute. General conspiracy.
So Ghislaine Maxwell's niece's identity was discovered, and she's essentially been forced to resign from her job as a school governor. Oh, and she was also a bereavement counselor. And no, it's not just because she is Ghislaine Maxwell's niece. It's because of the letter that she wrote to the judge asking for Ghislaine Maxwell to be released on bail. Oh, but get this. Miss Matilda Monroe ran unsuccessfully as Lib Dem counselor for the Bethnal Green West in 2018. And if that sounds familiar to you, I did a video a couple weeks ago talking about how Ted Maxwell, Matilda Monroe's brother, aka the nephew of Ghislaine Maxwell, is literally running for that exact same position. In fact, the elections are today. Now, what are the odds that we think that this is legit and it's above board and they just want to get into politics to clear their family name? Let's not forget that their father was literally on trial twice, of course got acquitted for his crimes, but the Maxwells are as dirty comes. Now, to be clear, Ted Maxwell is running as an independent candidate for borough councillor seat in the London borough of Tower Hamlets, specifically the Bethnal Green West ward. And it just so happens that his sister, Tilly Monroe, has served as chair of the Tower Hamlets School's local governing board for 4 years, and her replacement is being selected in May. And hopefully, if y'all are...
That's wild to me. That family continues to be in... like relevant even.
I mean, you can't, I don't want to go here, but you can't always judge people off of their family.
It's true. And I wouldn't have until it showed the letter that she wrote to try to get Ghislaine out of prison.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, she did way worse stuff that she's even in prison for. Like, get out of here.
You know, something that's real strange about this, what Mandy's calling the Hannah Montana virus. It kind of segues into this. Did you hear about the other cruise ship that's handled by a major entertainment company and all the people that may have been tied into child images on that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Why is that not everywhere?
You know why?
So the Disney cruise, if I think is correct, 28 employees off that cruise have been arrested so far for child images, like images. You know what I mean?
C-SPAN.
Yeah. That's and that's not really anywhere right now, but it's just another thing, you know. It's just another thing.
I got
how evil this world is.
I got another video from Amy Eskridge, one of the scientists that was killed, where she's claiming, you know, this is we've heard this a lot, but she's claiming that aliens are us.
Yeah. So ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you, they're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. Have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is?
Is it just me, or does she always sound drunk, like really drunk? Maybe that's just how she talks, but she always seems like she's just blitzed.
Yeah.
P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die. So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell.
I mean, what do you think?
I really think, I hope this, I don't know, man. I hope it's AI in some way, because first off, she's telling the story of what was it? The mole, what was that story where mole people went underground and the enlightened beings stayed above ground? I can't remember anymore. A time traveler or something like that.
Yeah.
She's telling that story is what she's telling. And the part where she said the ones go underground to survive and the ones above the ground manage to live, I mean, they both survived, right? You know what I mean?
That's the That's the same story of what was it? I think it was Jamshid, the cup of Jamshid. If you remember that Persian story, Jamshid had a magical cup, and he used it to lead his people to an underground area where they avoided an apocalyptic flood.
Yeah.
And they built, and today in Persia, there's caves that you can go to where there's housing, like native housing carved in caves under the earth.
Yeah, for sure. That's everywhere though. I don't know, man. But yeah, she's probably drunk. But let's be real on this. If you were privileged to some kind of information that you knew that you talking about was going to cost you your life, and you decide to talk about it, would you not be drunk too the whole time?
Oh yeah, for
I'd
sure.
I'd be
but like when she showed her hand being burned and everything like that, some of those videos are pretty compelling.
Yeah.
So next one is weird stuff about the last attempt on the president. Let me see.
That was just a weird situation in general.
Probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. The shooter from last night's name was Cole Allen, but there's a Twitter account from 2023. And this account made one post, and it was almost 2.5 years ago, and it was just Cole Allen. Now, here's where it gets wilder. The header of this account is an image from a website called Time Machine, which is a project to preserve digital use of our heritage. But it gets even wilder. If you superimpose the image of Butler over it, there's an outline of Trump. Probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. The shooter from last night's name was Cole Allen, but there's a Twitter account from
Yeah, that's a little out there. I don't know.
The picture was a stretch, but the tweets, just like we saw a tweet last night from 2022 talking about something kind of strange from the future or in the future. I'm throwing in all conspiracy stuff. We're hitting it all. And
I mean, I'm to the point now where I don't discredit any of it. It's all at some level.
And then this is for all of you iPhone users to maybe get you to switch.
And news you might have missed, because I certainly did. Apple has cut a deal with its developers in Israel, and the iPhone 17e will now have a chip that they've developed. They're also working on a brand new chip to speed up your Wi-Fi and work with AI. The same country that did the Lebanon pager bombing, which injured 3,000 and killed a few children, is now putting a chip in your phone. That's fun.
So if they don't like what you're saying, they can just blow you up.
Well, luckily enough.
Yep. Remember the pagers?
I'm poor enough. Well, luckily enough, I'm poor enough to where I won't have an iPhone 17 for like another 10 or 15 years. So I'm always a few generations behind on those.
This one might get us in trouble. We'll see.
Fuck it.
Hey, when did the Rothschilds come to America? Officially, they really started making noise about 1837. That was our first big crash. And what about after that? When they got here, what did they start doing? Businesses, infrastructure, railroads were big for them, and they would eventually start doing business with the Morgans, JP Morgan. Okay, so like, at what point did they like grab our country by the balls? Well, that would be about 1895, 1896-ish. That's when JP Morgan and the Rothschilds bailed out the entire country of America because we're running out of gold. And so they said, hey, we have $45 million worth of gold. Want it? I imagine there was a little bit of, quid pro quo there. Daggone. And then there's 1910, the Jekyll Island meeting after the 1907 bank panic that led to the 1913 formation of the Federal Reserve. And that was all because of an island that they met at that was owned by JP Morgan, and the boat that sank that was owned by JP Morgan that kept the Federal Reserve's naysayers from getting the meetings. And now we have a central bank that's controlled by Rothschild Rockefeller money. Jeez. And then that's not to mention the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812. They pressured America heavy to finance it. Even the Civil War, they were on both sides in the Napoleonic War. And guess what? The first thing our central bank funded after it was founded in 1913. 1913. That would be. Did they fund Oh, God. 6 months later, World War I. Well, that's all bad, but at least it stopped. Shortly after that, Britain would write them a letter saying, hey, that land in the Middle East that you want, we're going to give it to you, Mr. Rothschild. Israel, it's all yours. Oh. The reason you can't afford an engagement ring or a wedding band, it's because of the Rothschilds and the De Beers Diamond Company. In the mid-'80s, they created an M&A company. An M&A company is a merger and acquisition company. Think private equity, but before private equity. And guess what they did with... We might need to slow down, but what did they do with it? They were using it to get involved in Wall Street. They wanted to infiltrate the New York Wall Street monster that had been forming in America. You want to know what they did to do that?
Yeah. What did they do?
They did it by sending somebody to New York City to oversee the purchase of Macmillan Inc. Macmillan Inc. was a media company that would be McGraw-Hill, which is responsible for a lot of the elementary school books that you and I were raised on. Do you want to know who they sent to New York City in 1988 to do this? Robert Maxwell. He was in partnership with Robert Maxwell. And when Robert Maxwell would go on to die on his yacht because he owed the Mossad money, guess who he also owed about 50 million pounds to? The Rothschild family through the Bank of England. Wait, that's Ghislaine Maxwell's father? Is connected to the Rothschild? That's right. Robert Maxwell, along with Roy Cohn, had been running a corporate blackmail ring throughout the entire world run by the Mossad. And when he died, Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein took on the reins. That's why they had been introduced only 6 months prior to his death. After that, they would go on to infiltrate people like the princes, the politicians, and the media moguls that we know today. And we know through Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's lawyer through 2008 and 2009, admitted that he was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein in the early 90s by a Rothschild. Okay, well, we don't have proof that Epstein worked for Rothschild. Here's an email from Epstein over to Peter Thiel. Says, as you know, I represent the Rothschild family. Maybe only represented a few of them. Maybe he didn't represent the whole family. Here's this wrinkly old pervert, Les Wexner, saying he represented the whole family. What? Okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Tag Howard Lutnick. I think that's what we could do because I believe he's a Mossad plant that's currently being seeded by the Rothschild family in a place precariously right next to Jeffrey Epstein. All because he's his neighbor? Like he just maybe he bought the home on Zillow. He did. He bought the home in 1998 from the Comet Trust, which was run by the son of the World Jewish Congress founder and World Zionist Foundation organizer. Also before that, it was owned by Jeffrey Epstein himself. Well, just because he owned it doesn't mean like it was his house or anything like that or ever lived there. Or, like that. Come on. Jeffrey Epstein would actually live there in 1992, starting right after things got serious with Ghislaine. So they would probably be shagging or doing whatever from 92 to 95 in that property before moving over into the other property, which will remain vacant for about 3 years before Jeffrey Epstein gets to pick his neighbor, happens to be the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, who would profit off of 9/11, survive 9/11, and also then use Cantor Fitzgerald with his sons at the helm to profit off of the very tariff being shot down in the Supreme Court that he helped form. So you basically think Howard Lutnick is like a really high-level crisis actor. Yeah, I thought of it that way. Yes, that's exactly what I think. What a liar. Lutnick the liar, that's what I call him. Hey, when did the
That's a lot of information, but
I mean, it's accurate. But I feel like, is even before the 1800s. It's probably, well, he said they helped fund the Revolutionary War, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. It's
Revolutionary War, Civil War, Napoleonic War, World War I, World War II.
Yeah, and the truth is they kind of fund both sides every time just to make sure that they come out winner.
But they can't. The reason we're not in a world war right now, in my opinion, is that they can't fund Iran because Iran's not on the Fed.
Yeah, exactly.
Iran's one of the only countries not on the Fed, actually. That's why they make fun of their money so much.
Yeah. And Toby, I don't know if you can use it or not, but I did send you another video as an X-Files clip, but you would part of it. So
let me see.
But
I may have to. If you guys want to talk for a minute, I'll see if I can email it to myself.
Yeah, that's a lot of information to try to digest from one video.
I like it though. He goes quick.
It was good,
I mean, there's really no lie to it either, but I feel like I don't think Rothschilds is the main top of the food chain. I don't think fellas are.
They're not the only one. They're not.
No, it's probably like Nephilim, or like fallen gods or something.
Well, there's a few family names that people don't ever really bring up that I probably won't bring up on this, but you never hear those family names, and that's usually the ones that's really in charge.
Yeah, it's for anybody wanting to go find out what those family names are, just look up a guy named Fritz Springmeier, and you can read about the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati or whatever.
Yeah.
And that'll be some you can go look him up. I mean, he's been talking about this stuff for years. Long time.
Okay. I got the video up, Stephen. Let's see what it is.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
The plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting gooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can't discredit it.
That's crazy.
And the fact is, they do have viruses in labs spread out across the world that they know for a fact if somebody carries it out on the bottom of their shoe is going to end civilization. It's really insane that we would even house things like that. And they say, well, we're trying to figure out a cure for it. And most of the times they have a cure for things, but it's really weird that the cures don't get released immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't like it.
It's coming from all angles, Crystal.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. Like, we've got some terrible videos, but I think the next one is a dementia related video. Just a heads up on some things that
neurologists are banning these items from their own homes. Why? Because of the study that came out showing a more than double increased lifetime risk of dementia after the age of 55. What was the top of the list? Tampons. Not just any kind of tampons, Tampax tampons.
What?
What has Tampax done so wrong that neurologists now refuse to let this product into their homes? Well, the heavy metals that have been found inside of these tampons that are then inserted inside of the human body. Enough heavy metals in enough tampons, there's now a class action lawsuit. Another item that made me cry is Colgate toothpaste and Tom's toothpaste, because Tom's is owned by Colgate, if I have that right. Also apparently has a lot of heavy metals in it. And again, a toothpaste is something you put in your body. You're getting a lot of absorption of whatever good or bad things are inside of it. Same neurologist who is telling his loved ones not to bring these items into his home also says Never wear Lululemon clothing. Honestly, didn't surprise me with how like fast fashion is basically full of plastics, but this is because it's full of forever chemicals like phthalates, and PFAS, and all the new chemicals we are learning that have been around forever and are literally so abundant we are finding it in our water. And when we consume it or it gets absorbed through our skin, our body literally can't get rid of it. Thanks to this study, I now understand that out of 100 people over the age of 55, over 40 of them will develop dementia, which I will probably be among them one day because out of the 3 items I just named, I've used or worn all 3 of them. Neurologists are...
Good thing is I don't brush my teeth.
What's wrong with the little heavy metal? Yeah.
My clothes come from water. I'm from Walmart. And I don't use tampons.
You tell me, why do you think that Wells Fargo would be trying to get a patent for smart dust?
Smart dust?
Well, this will blow your mind. Wells Fargo will soon be authenticating your payments through a microscopic airborne surveillance. I repeat, surveillance. Will other banks be joining Wells Fargo to do the same? And no, it's not a conspiracy because they've already put a patent out for it. Here is Wells Fargo's patent for it. And this payment authentication system is called Smart Dust. So basically, there's going to be these tiny little microscopic sensors when you're going in to make a transaction. Here's a visual from the patent documents, and they're going to be released around your body during the time of the transaction. I know, it sounds like sci-fi. And it uses your heart rate, body temperature, blood pressure, breathing patterns, facial recognition, voice signatures, and motion profiles to authenticate payments. And it's being reported that this is for our safety. And if there isn't a 95% biometrics match through all of these via your heart rate, body temperature, etc., then you don't get to buy. The transaction doesn't go through. And our president has put out an executive order that will force Americans to surrender biometric data or lose their bank account.
I don't know about the last part, but the patent's real.
Hang on.
Wow. That's...
You want me to put it back up so you can Google it?
I'm looking up the biometric order.
Yeah. Here's the thing I really don't understand about this. The people who have the money, they're the ones who have the power. What are they trying to obtain now? That's my question.
I think that you're right, Stephen. I think that something's coming.
This is what they're saying. This is it's kind of true, kind of not.
Read it.
So the Trump administration's executive order is reportedly in process that would require U.S. banks to collect citizenship information from both new and existing customers. Treasury Secretary Scott, blah, blah, blah. So what the order would do, banks would be mandated to request additional documents to verify citizenship. Okay. Passports would be the primary accepted form of proof. That's kind of shitty. Real IDs and many other common identity documents would not qualify as valid proof of citizenship under the proposal. 1 second. The goal is to ensure that only individuals with legal status can access the banking system, similar to practices in some other countries. The biometric data claim. Avowed story claims the order would force Americans to submit biometrical data, fingerprints, iris scans to keep bank accounts. That is not accurate. There is not a current executive order that requires citizens to surrender biometric data to maintain banking access. Not yet.
So the last part was like a partial truth, I guess.
A partial truth. Basically to confirm citizenship, but you're going to have a passport to do so. Hey.
Wow.
Hey, my guy.
What's up?
Been a
Welcome.
day, and just jumping in, passports ain't cheap.
No.
That's true. You're already doing the real ID.
I thought the real ID was supposed to take place of the passport.
See, here's the thing though, like this SAVE Act that they're trying to pass, that you have to show extra yada yada yada. Real ID is not acceptable.
That's
It has
crazy.
to be a passport. Yep.
That's
Why
crazy.
even implement the real ID? if you're not going to let it be what they said it was going to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought the Real ID was stupid too. Like,
I don't disagree with that at all. But, if you're going to put things like that in place, then you should provide people with it that are citizens. You should give passports to people like us. I've got a birth certificate. It's got the
free.
United States on it. You should be giving it to me.
yes, I completely agree.
So sorry to jump in the middle of that. That's one of my big pet peeves right now is you're requiring things for people, but you're not giving people the means to have those things.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's bull.
Yeah, that was the same thing was brought up, over eating healthy and all that right there. How can people afford to do it?
Yeah.
So
I actually had I'm sorry, go ahead.
For a second. I'll be right back.
It's so much cheaper to eat unhealthy. So much cheaper.
I got into a knockdown drag out with it was a peer of my son's, and this has been 15 years ago. I mean, so this kid was probably about 32 at the time. So grown, and something was said about eating healthy. And he's like, well, it's the simplest thing under the sun to eat healthy. I don't know what the problem is. I'm like, finances, darling, finances. That is a huge problem when it comes, because I have allergies. In order for me to eat gluten-free, it costs me 4 times more than it does to eat gluten.
Yeah.
So, but, it's
and
crazy.
And especially now, even eating unhealthy costs a freaking fortune. We went to buy groceries, and it was $100 for like 4 bags.
Yeah, and you could probably carry all 4 bags with one hand.
These 2 fingers.
Yeah, all 4 bags.
Right. You know what Crystal is, the restaurant.
Oh, yes. I thought you said about
They
mash.
have a thing called a crystal chick that's about 2 inches by 2 inches. I bought 2 of them on the way home, and it was $7.
I'm surprised you had crystals. I thought that they were mainly gone, except for in Kentucky.
No, they still have them, and it's one of the few places that make that kind of thing where it's actually still a chicken breast and not a chopped up, repurposed patty. Because I used to like getting the honey butter biscuits at Wendy's, but our Wendy's locally have started using the chopped up, giant chicken McNuggets that are disgusting and I won't eat.
Yeah.
So,
I've gotten to where fast food's finally got nasty enough now to where I don't like it. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, right.
We going by McDonald's today's Saturday, right? Yeah, today. And got a double cheeseburger, and I bit into it, and like I almost regurgitated almost immediately. I was like, this tastes freaking horrible, so I just didn't eat it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't do much fast food. Okay, that's a lie. I will get avocado toast from Dunkin' Donuts almost on a daily basis if I don't make it at home. But I know what that is too. It's toast, it's avocado, it's some chopped up bacon. So
right. Yeah.
But when I'm on the road like I was today, I ate something on the way up, and then I ate something on the way back, and I'm miserable because it's not the type stuff I normally eat.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Like, I don't know if you guys get this. I'm over as soon as I turn 40, when I eat pizza, like I almost feel like I have a hangover from drinking. You know what I mean? Especially if I sleep on it. I wake up with a headache. I feel foggy. Like I'll go puke.
I can't eat pizza.
And today I made one from scratch, and I ate it, and I feel fine. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting it from a fast food place or whatever.
It's the same as everything else. You have no idea of knowing what people put in stuff, because we have a couple of local pizza places that, and I'm not a big pizza person. One, I have to be in the mood for it, and 2, I tend to be, picky. But the local places taste better, and they don't have that overwhelming feeling of yuck after you eat it.
That's what it is. Like, It literally like when I eat it now, it literally feels like I've drank all night long. Is what it feels like.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
It drains you. It makes you feel just ugh.
Well, I've got a bunch of food stuff, but we're about to descend into auto hell for a minute. So the first guy, I think he's talking about consolidation of.
Hey, ladies. Sorry.
What's up? What's up? All right, let's see what this guy has to say. These are all.
It's funny is that they didn't just build the cage; they made you buy it. Somebody left me a comment on my last video about Advance Auto Parts. One of the biggest suppliers is closing 700 stores, and he said, "Time to learn how Cuba keeps their stuff running." Well, here's the big difference. Cuba was forced into this by an embargo. Our fucking government is doing this to us. So let me go ahead and show you that pipeline. All right. Step 1, we'll destroy the alternative. So between 1936 and 1950, General Motors and Standard Oil bought up the electric streetcar system in 45 major American cities. They ripped up all the tracks and destroyed public transportation specifically so that you would buy a vehicle. And don't get me wrong. They were convicted in court. They were charged a whopping $5,000. That's it. Step 2, destroy the older cars. They mandated ethanol in your gas, which literally eats your fuel lines.
Cash for
older
clunkers.
engines. Step 3, cut off the auto parts supply. Advanced Auto Parts is closing 700 stores. And the fucking crazier part is their parent company, Fram Filters and Autolite Spark Plugs, just filed for bankruptcy. So you can't even fix your older car if you want to because you can't buy the fucking parts. So what's left? Step 4, force you into a new vehicle. So what's coming down the pipe in 2027? If you guess the AI mandate kill switch, ding, ding, motherfuckers, you got it. And you know the crazy part about that, though, is they want to claim safety and all this bullshit where it can, watch your eyes, your movements, but then it can just shut your car off whenever it fucking decides to. Weird. And then they're selling it as it's a safety thing. Safety and progress. Really? Just like the self-driving cars in California right now, because they just passed a law that's effective July fucking 1st that allows the government to geofence your vehicle. Do you understand what that means? So they can digitally trap your car, reroute it, shut the fucker off, and be like, well, it's an emergency. The EFF is already warning that these vehicles are mass surveillance machines on wheels. They didn't just build the fucking cage. They destroyed the alternative, watered down your fucking fuel, bankrupt the auto supplier, and then force you to buy the cage itself. Stop calling this bullshit progress. This is fucking control.
It's true. And it gets worse. It's not the first time it's happened.
No.
They've been creeping this for a long time.
What's so insane to me, and I might have brought this up before on here, I don't remember, but the other day we was going to a thing for my nephew's school, and we stopped at the dollar store, and my car updated like a phone.
What?
Like a phone, and would not turn on until the update was complete.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, what the hell is this?
Well, if they are allowed to proceed forward with this AI technology and stuff, I'm gonna have to regress to something that ain't.
It's making me second guess selling this truck down here. I'll tell you that right now.
Or that 2004 Malibu.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe I'll just fix that one back up.
So let's go to the beginning and see.
Remember when car companies invented jaywalking to steal the streets? Before the 1920s, the streets belonged to practically everyone. You could walk right down the middle diagonally wherever the fuck you wanted, and if a car hit you, the courts blamed the driver. Then mass market cars hit the streets and they started slaughtering people, and by 1925, car crashes were causing 2/3 of all deaths in major American cities. Worst part was that up to 60% of those deaths were children under the age of 9. People were furious, and newspapers called drivers murderers. In 1923, the citizens of Cincinnati actually forced a ballot measure to put mechanical speed limiters on every single car to cap them at 25 miles per hour. So then the auto industry, oil companies, and car dealerships formed a coalition called the Motor Dump. And they looked at the massive public backlash and were like, we need to stop blaming the cars and make people blame people walking. So they weaponized the word Jay, which was slang for a clueless country bumpkin. Motor Dump coined the term jaywalker to make anyone crossing the street to look like an absolute fucking idiot. And no city person wanted to be called a hick or a country bumpkin. And so the psychological trick worked fucking perfectly. They spoon-fed newspapers pre-written articles blaming pedestrians for accidents, and they literally built parade floats with tombstones mocking children who stepped off the curb without looking. They even put 12-year-olds in mock trial classrooms just for jaywalking. Then a major car company funded a Harvard PhD to legally reclassify streets. They successfully changed the law so streets were exclusively for vehicles and not for the people. And by 1928, this was the national standard. They expected everyone to just fucking accept it, and everyone did. Decades later, NBC ran a TV special called America's Love Affair with the Automobile by Groucho Marx and sponsored by the DuPont Company. Yes, that DuPont fucking company. The company that owned literally 23% of General Motors. It really took over a century for cities to undo this corporate heist, and California only decriminalized jaywalking in 2023. And New York City just did it in 2020. Remember when car...
I mean, out of all the crimes, jaywalking is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I still do it.
Do you know there are streets in New Orleans that cars are not allowed? It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, this same dude kind of gets into the first guy mentioned the rail car thing briefly. This guy gets into it in depth. Like as soon as all this stuff on AI started coming out, he Jay Cruel on TikTok made a whole series of just car stuff.
Before you hit it, you know, I've seen an uptick in my area that we might be regressing. Gas has gotten so high that I have seen a lot of people riding horses.
Really?
Yeah, up and down the road.
Well, they also have legalized being able to ride razors and stuff on the road. Those things get way better gas mileage than cars.
Uh-huh. But a new razor costs as much as a new car.
But if it gets 100 miles to the gallon,
it don't get 100 miles to the gallon. It might get what it gets the same thing as like a motorcycle would, a crotch rocker or something. You know?
Some motorcycles get a lot of miles to the gallon.
Yeah, I'll find that out. Go ahead, hit it.
Okay.
Auto companies bought up the streetcars just to burn them. It's the 1930s. Most major American cities have massive functioning electric streetcar networks.
So this is right after the jaywalking thing got implemented.
Were cheap, fast, and kept people out of cars. And obviously the auto industry and the oil companies hated this. So General Motors, Firestone Tire, and Standard Oil, and a few other automotive industry heavy hitters bankrolled a company called National City Lines. Their entire goal was to buy up local streetcar systems in places like Los Angeles, Baltimore, and St. Louis. As soon as they took control, they immediately ripped up the tracks and scrapped the electric streetcars. And then they replaced them with these dirty ass slow buses built by General Motors. And guess what? The fuel being sold by Standard Oil and riding on tires made by Firestone. Completely manufactured monopoly designed to make the public transit worse so people would get fed up and literally buy a car. They literally looked at America's rail system and decided to tear it down to sell more tires, sell more oil, and sell more cars. In 1946, an activist named Edwin Quinby caught onto the scheme and sent a massive 24-page expose to mayors across the country. The federal government investigated, and the GM and the other companies were indicted for violating the Sherman Antitrust Act. In 1949, they were actually convicted of conspiring to monopolize the sale of buses and supplies to these local transit networks. Here's the most infuriating part. The penalty for destroying the backbone of America's public transportation. Only $5,000. General Motors was only fined $5,000 fucking dollars. And the treasurer of GM was fined exactly $1. And the damage was completely irreversible. The street tracks were gone and the tracks were paved over and there was fucking freeways and roads built over them. Remember when oil and auto...
I think the tracks were from the old world.
Yeah, 100% they were. Because, I mean, if you look into the real One World Tartaria book, they show like ancient technology, like there was one railroad system that worked off the salt water. It conducted energy off salt water, and it ran right above the coast of one of the states, I can't remember, and it was like a quick transportation. I think that Copilot's messing with me here.
Copilot?
Yeah.
Why are you using Copilot?
Because I use Edge. I'm using Edge, Microsoft Edge.
Copilot sucks, dude.
Yeah. But they're saying a side by side, which actually I kind of believe this is accurate. Only gets around 20 miles per gallon.
Really?
Yeah. Your real hit though is a motorcycle. Somebody said in the chat. Alan,
Motorcycles get like I thought, don't they get like 100 miles to the gallon?
they do.
No.
Well, some
No.
of them do actually.
Well, some of them probably do.
But most of them get between like 30 and 50 miles per gallon.
Okay.
Hey, I got 35 miles to the gallon in my car today.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
We rented a Jetta. We rented a Jetta on the way back from Gulf Shores. On the way down, we drove to Kona. We had to fill it up 4 times. The tire blew out, so we had to get a Jetta. On the way back, we filled it up twice, and it was getting like 46 miles to the gallon. That was dope as hell. But motorcycles, like some of the smaller ones, like 100cc, they say gets 90 to 150 miles per gallon. Like a Honda Grom, Honda CB, Honda Monkey.
A Grom is like a street bike.
Yeah. Cruisers get about 70 or 80. High performance sport bikes often get 30 to 50. So motorcycles where it's at, because they're saying even a lightweight 4wheeler gets like 20 to 50.
I must have been tripping on motorcycles or something.
Yeah. ATVs, those side by sides are basically cars. At this point, they're huge.
Turn signals, whole deal.
Most bike, I think, gets like 35, 40 miles to the gallon.
What's he
And
got?
he's got a Harley.
Yeah.
I think street bikes are the ones that get a lot of miles to the gallon, like the BMWs, like those kind of street bikes.
Rock rockets do too, depending on how you ride them.
Yeah. What about the little scooters that a lot of people have?
They're usually electric. Oh, you mean like a moped?
Yeah.
They get a lot. They probably get 40, 50.
Well, now they've got bikes that can go 30, 40 miles an hour, like bicycles.
Yeah, with the motors on them. A moped or scooters get between 85 and 100 miles to the gallon.
Okay, it's dangerous as shit though.
We got a couple more car related videos.
They are going to take the steering wheel out of your truck. Not eventually, right now. It's already happening. And everything that they've done to your vehicle for the last 10 years, every camera, every sensor, every restriction, every mandate was a step towards that moment. And up until now, they've been hoping that you just didn't notice. In February of this year, the first Tesla Cybercab rolled off the production line in Texas. It has no steering wheel. It has no pedals, no manual controls of any kind. You get in, you tell it where you want to go, you sit there, that's it. The regulatory runway is being built right now for a vehicle that, no joke, in Austin crashes at 4 times the rate of a human driver. Nobody asked us, and we didn't vote for it. And that was always the goal of the process that started the day that your car first told you that you were drifting out of your lane, or maybe that you were a little too tired to drive. Now, we were going to shoot this out on the ranch, but we just ran out of time this week. But stick with me for the analogy. It's important. When you move cattle through a chute, you don't show them where they're going. The alley has a curve for a reason. They can only see a few steps ahead. What's behind them feels more dangerous than what's in front. So they move forward, one step at a time, willingly. And by the time they can see the end of the chute, the decision has already been made for them. Now let's walk down that chute that they built for you. Step 1, lane departure warning. The car tells you when you've been drifting, and you accepted that. Step 2, automatic emergency braking. The car overrides your decision and stops without your input, and you accepted that too. Step 3, adaptive cruise control. You handed the car your speed. Step 4, hands-free highway driving. You stop steering. Step 5, driver monitoring cameras. The car watches your eyes to decide if you're paying enough attention. Step 6, a federal mandate for passive impairment detection. The law requires the car to decide if you're fit to drive. Step 7, Ford patents biometric surveillance, lip reading, iris scanning, criminal record checks inside the cab of your own truck. Step 8, the kill switch. The car decides whether you even drive at all. Step 9, no steering wheel. Now look at that list. Every single step was sold to you as a safety feature, taking us further and further from analog controls on purpose. And just like cattle in a chute, the decision has already been made for you. Before you touch the ignition, before you've done a single thing wrong, the camera is already watching your face. The sensor is already measuring your heart rate. The system is already running a calculation on whether you're fit to drive. Your agency has been stripped away, and you have to beg some safety software for permission to use the truck that you paid for every time you get in your own truck. In America, you are innocent until proven guilty, except apparently in our own trucks and our own driveways. Because Ford's system doesn't assume that you're sober. It assumes you're drunk or high. And you have to prove otherwise to a camera before you're allowed to drive the vehicle that you own. And before you think this is just a Ford problem, it's not. Ford may have filed the patents, but the mandate, it came from Washington, D.C., buried inside a 2,700-page infrastructure bill back in 2021, signed into law without a single American voting for it. This isn't just coming for Ford trucks. It's coming for every new vehicle on the road. So the natural question to ask is why? So here's a breakdown of the driver versus passenger business model. A driver owns a vehicle. A passenger pays per mile. A driver maintains their own truck. A passenger generates recurring revenue for a service. A driver's data is limited, but a passenger in an autonomous vehicle generates a continuous surveillance profile, location, behavior preferences, biometrics every single trip. The truck in your driveway that you own outright, that you fuel anywhere, that you fix yourself, represents money that will never flow to them. That truck is the enemy of that business model. So the business model has been patiently, methodically, one feature at a time, making you a passenger by attrition. And let me be really clear about this. I am not against electric vehicles. I'm not against technology. I love technology, and I've spent my entire career in technology. They are going to take the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's a dystopian future. Exactly.
I want to say one thing about the one thing that he made the point of multiple times is, and you never voted on it. Like that matters because Virginia, I think it was, put redistricting on the ballot. People voted for it, and their Supreme Court just threw it out this week. So voting literally is getting to the point where it does not matter what the people want.
I've thought for 10 years that voting is, if it was real, they wouldn't let you do it.
Well, the whole thing is, there's a thing that people seem to forget. If you believe the history books, the reason that we're here right now is because people left for taxation with no representation.
Mm-hmm.
And we are taxed to fucking death.
Yes.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yes.
And our representation is an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's like,
it is.
Oh, you guys want this? Yeah, let's go ahead and vote for it. Sure, yeah, great job. You voted in. We're not going to pass it through Senate, though.
Right. Yeah. Or you voted it in, but guess what? We didn't like that one, so it's got to go. The thing is, I'm of two minds when it comes to whether or not voting matters. One, it's like you said, it doesn't matter in the sense that they're taking things that were voted into law or that are standing law and just saying, screw it.
Local voting may count, but anything beyond that, I don't know that anything beyond local voting is real.
Well, and that's the other thing, though, on the other side of that, if voting does not matter at all, or at least the pretense of voting, why are they trying so hard to make it harder? I mean, if they're constantly passing more and more laws, making it more and more
I think it's rage bait.
Absolutely.
It's a huge issue, like a huge political issue to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And just like all this other stuff, I literally think it's rage bait. Give me the gauntlet.
There's a guy.
Give me the infinity gauntlet. I'll make it happen.
We just need to vote in the true people that will represent us, but we can't vote them in because they don't have the financial backing of these people, and they don't have, and so they're not going to win. There's a boy from our hometown that he claimed he's going to run for government. I would 100% vote for that guy, 100%, because I know he's a good dude.
Yeah, but your everyday Joe, like Larry, that you know down the road, who's a great guy, never will be able to get to that level.
Never,
ever.
Well, or then you get to you get somebody that's actually making sense, that's talking in a way that would represent all of us. Because there's a guy in Texas right now, James Tallarico. He's a minister. He's awesome. He will either disappear or be pushed out or have so much pressure that he says, you know what, fuck it, I'm in.
Well, It's like
because that's what tends to happen on the good ones. Is something's going to happen to prevent them from moving forward with the message that they're pushing.
There's a senator in Kentucky that's not. Now, I'm not calling this man a good man because he's probably in his own club.
Yeah.
But AIPAC has spent $10 million in Kentucky to try to remove this guy because he talks shit about the wrong people.
Right. And the scariest thing right now too is the next presidential election. You think we have it bad now? We do. But the next one is probably going to be between Gavin Newsom and Andy Bashir.
Dude,
I don't think Newsom's going to get it.
I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. We'll go back and clip it. I said this probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
All of this back and forth. So here's what's happening. It started out for a long time just like this.
Yeah.
And now it's going like this.
Yeah.
And then the gravity of this situation is going to open the door for the most polarizing figure in human history.
Oh, yeah.
And it could be either way, honestly. But it's going to end up.
Isn't he y'all's governor?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that just stood up publicly and said the average wage in Kentucky is $30 an hour?
And people are defending that like crazy. They're like, well, out west, you get most people do make $35 an hour.
Where?
They're apparently out west.
Really?
Well,
hey, I told
you
Mandy,
can go down
I'm
the
like,
road
I'm
here.
thinking about moving up there, and she goes, "He's lying." I'm like, "No, he sounds just like my governor. He's a
You
moron."
can go to Wendy's is hiring for $15 an hour down the road.
All right. Well,
Wendy's.
Let's just do this.
I figure the governor of Pennsylvania will probably be in the race in 28.
So, Kentucky right now, the average income per person in Kentucky, also called the per capita income, is about $35,821 a year.
Right. And how is that $30 an hour?
Well, people's defending the shit out of them, by the way.
Oh yeah, I saw some of it, and I was like, "Wow."
I don't know, man. I don't know, but let's go ahead and do just a little simple math here.
I want to see what ours is too, because it's
about 26 divided 80. So 17.22 an hour is far fucking less than $30 an hour.
So about half.
Yeah.
So if you worked a double shift every day at McDonald's, you'd be making your
yeah.
But
you just don't add up all your hours.
So here's what I like is because I went and looked up Mississippi's, and there's per capita personal 25 Q1, real per capita personal, and Census Bureau per capita. Okay, which one is it? Because there is a $20,000 difference between per capita personal and the Census Bureau per capita.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, come on, people. So anyway, my bad.
And the fact that they just throw out numbers, like I would love to be governor and be like, our average income's $100 an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, they do. Okay. I mean, it's whatever sounds good. Because I was watching a guy the other day that was throwing out, and he was pulling it from data. Because some guy goes, "Where do you get your numbers? You're making it up." He goes, "Actually, this came directly from the government. This is on their website." He said, "I'm not even saying that their numbers are accurate, but I'm not making shit up. This is what they're reporting." And I mean, like another one, people lost their minds because they're like, "Well, you're not being fair." Well, if that's what they're telling us, then why would you not expect that to be true, even though it's bull?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's insane.
Don't continuously screw people and then expect people to bend over and say one more time.
Yeah.
All right. So I've decided rather than go ahead.
Please, may I have another?
Yes. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I think the next election, though, we're going to get a surprise. And I think Mitch McConnell's going to run.
Are they going to roll him up in his box and prop it? The theme song will have to be "Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox."
Okay, so we're gonna alternate between food and AI for a little bit.
Okay. How about
And then
AI
we'll-
food?
AI food, and then because there's so many AI and food videos that I have, it's astronomical. And then we'll get into some fringe stuff afterwards. But the first one is quite curious.
The creator of ChatGPT just asked for immunity if they kill 100 or more people. You heard that right. They're worried they might kill 100 people and wrote a bill in Illinois to absolve them if they do. It's called Illinois Senate Bill 3444. The bill defines a critical harm as a death or serious injury of 100 people caused by an AI model, or $1 billion in property damage. And it says the AI company cannot be held liable for that harm, as long as they posted a safety protocol on their website first and aren't deemed reckless in following it. That's the bar. Publish a document, don't intentionally cause harm, and get a free pass for killing 100 people. And the crazy thing is, that document's already required because of a law that I wrote and passed. I'm Alex Boris, computer scientist, New York State legislator, and author of the strongest AI safety law in the country. Recently, OpenAI's marketing department has been working hard, but their lobbyists are working even harder. Don't believe the slick marketing. This is what they really want. They write the rules, grade their own homework, and if 100 people die, whoops, nobody forced OpenAI to lobby for this. They showed up and asked for this on their own accord. The bill sponsor even said this was an OpenAI initiative. I'm running for Congress in New York 12 to regulate AI at the federal level. The same people pushing this law in Illinois are spending millions to defeat our campaign here. We can't let them win. The creator of ChatGPT just asked.
I have a question. If I publish on my Facebook page, I might go crazy and off people. Can I go out and take out 100 people? Because I know 100 I can get rid of that would make the world a better place.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, we're in a situation where we're probably going to kill a bunch of people somehow.
Yeah,
we get in trouble for it when it happens. You know what I mean?
It's
That's the most insane shit I've ever heard in my life.
So they're asking for blanket immunity before anything ever happens.
Drain the lakes.
It almost wrote like a plea, like, hey, we'll make sure we kill more than 100
Yes.
for you.
But here's my thing. It's like everything. It's like if you pay people off, you're guilty. You don't pay people off if you're not guilty. And this is you prepaying people off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yep. It
The
gets
world
worse.
that we currently live in.
It gets worse.
Stop.
Okay.
Are these strawberries causing cancer in kids? Driscoll strawberries, grown in one of the most pesticide-heavy regions of the country, the Pajaro and Salinas Valleys in California. 38% higher risk of childhood cancer near Driscoll's farms. 12 different pesticides used there linked to childhood cancer. What are they doing to our food? Let's also talk about the massive battery fire at Moss Landing Power Plant in California. When lithium battery systems burn, they don't just make smoke. They release metals, nickel, cobalt, manganese. We're talking about metal particles that can travel through the air, settle into soil, and stay there. This happened in one of the most high-producing farmlands in the country. We're talking leafy greens, berries, and more. Produce that gets shipped around the country. Nickel exposure linked to lung and nasal cancers. Cobalt, cardiotoxicity and potential carcinogen. Manganese, neurological damage with chronic exposure. This isn't some abstract environmental issue. It's the exact same question people are asking with pesticides. What actually ends up in the food? Because whether it's chemical runoff or metal fallout from something like the Moss Landing fire, it all lands up in the same place, the soil. And once it's in the soil, it doesn't just disappear. It gets taken up, it accumulates, and eventually it reaches the people. I'm an attorney at Clifford Law Offices representing injured people across the country. And when you start seeing multiple exposure pathways with something like this, pesticides, industrial fallout, airborne contamination, you wonder not is this happening, but how much of it is happening and how much of it is harming people. Are these strawberries causing?
Those strawberries are everywhere.
I was gonna say, I bought those strawberries a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And back to what Cecil was saying, if you start using Whole Foods, it's like that almost ain't good enough anymore.
Oh. Right. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was, what was it, last year or the year before, whenever the train derailment there in Ohio?
Yep.
And all the chemicals spilled into the water. Have you seen anything as a result of that? Sicknesses?
There is, yeah. There's still lots of problems. We played an update on that. I think it was just me and Cecil that time. An update from East Palestine where they were out in the creeks, and you can squish in the creeks, and it looks like oil slicks coming up.
Yeah.
And people are still having respiratory issues. It's very similar to Flint now, though, where the people are just accepting.
What's so weird? He was talking about childhood cancers at the beginning of that video right there. The next town over, Corbin is experiencing something where infants are getting a rare brain cancer, like a bunch of them, and they're trying to figure out what's causing that.
Yeah.
So
could be something in the baby formula.
Baby formulas, the water, because where I live, somebody did a test on the water, and it's like almost it's toxic levels anyway. And every single day there's a boil water advisory. And they've went so far as to like put letters in people's mailboxes. Well, do you know what kind of lines you have?
What is that, Crystal?
Could be contributing to this. It could be contributing to that. It's really strange.
I firmly believe that's the name of the cancer, I think. I firmly believe, like I said, and I'm not saying that there's no risk at all with vaccinations because, we stopped polio. We've stopped things that were killing thousands and thousands of kids a year. But I think the autism problem is from food additives and the things that are in our food sources like Roundup and stuff like that. Because
heavy metal.
Yes.
Regardless of, that needs to be investigated. And,
yes.
We thought that was going to happen maybe, but,
but now they've got free reign with Roundup now.
You've got a government that's defending glyphosate to the teeth. And regardless, and we've talked about this before, regardless of what the cause is, whatever it is should be investigated, and whatever it's determined to be, whether it's food or water or shots or whatever, like whatever it's determined to be, we need to figure it out and fix it. Like,
well, see, and that's where my thing comes in when it, like I said, because I see both sides of it, but they have studied vaccines extensively, but they don't study glyphosate. They're not studying all the stuff. Like I said, the water, the ground stuff. Why not? Because they're making too damn much money off of that.
The FDA gets lobbied like crazy.
Yeah.
The politicians get lobbied like crazy.
All right.
And some of that is by pharmaceutical companies.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No question.
Right. All right. DDT was considered to be so bad for the environment that they banned it. Was DDT worse than what with the video we just watched with all the heavy metals and all the childhood cancers and everything? Were there all those reports back then when DDT was still being used?
The climate has changed. 30 years ago, politicians somewhat cared, and now they're like, "Well, I'm getting paid by lobbies, so who gives a shit about what you think?"
As long as it doesn't affect me and mine,
yeah.
To hell with those people, and that's the thing, because especially in this country, healthcare is a travesty, and you and I cannot afford the same level of healthcare that somebody that's making billions or millions a year can. It's just not realistic because we don't have the means.
You know what's really weird too about like water, like the water and things. Well, where we go collect water weekly. we get like 25 gallons of water a week. There is a huge uptick of people down there. We went today and got some, and there was like 4 cars lined up waiting for us to get done. And one of the cars was a truck, and on the side of the truck was the name of our water company that we get our water.
Oh, wow. That tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
And I was like, what in the world? You know, so
yeah.
Huge red flag.
Yeah.
All right. Next rage
It's
bait.
like when what is it? When the guy from McDonald's said he doesn't eat McDonald's food.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It tries to take a bite, like a fake
that was
bite.
so fucking funny.
Here we go. First we had solar panels. Now we have
Well, Andrew, it's an unlikely partnership. Span, which is a small startup that makes smart home electrical panels, is teaming up with NVIDIA and Pulte Group, a major U.S. home builder. Span is now making small fractional data centers, or they call them nodes, that can be put on the side of residential homes. The idea is to take advantage of unused electrical capacity on local grids, which the Span smart panels can find. Now, a network of these nodes talking to each other across the country is about the equivalent of a mid-sized traditional data center. So these could negate the need to build as many. Hyperscalers and AI cloud providers just tap into the node network like a regular data center. Now, Span collaborated with NVIDIA using its technology in the system. Span claims it can install 8,000 of these units about 6 times faster and at 5 times lower cost than the construction of a typical centralized 100 megawatt data center of the same size. Now, Pulte Homes is in the early testing phase with these systems, which they have already deployed in a handful of communities. Now, why would a homeowner want this? Well,
they don't.
No.
That means I'm going to be footing the bill of everything that goes through there.
No, I'd be damned. The only way that I would do it is if I'm like, you can put one here if you pay my fucking electric bill.
It blurs the line though. Even if they did that, it blurs the line where it's like, okay, who's actually responsible for the electrical usage though?
Yeah.
Because it blurs that line to where it may be the homeowner, it may be them, who knows? It's just another smoke and mirrors.
Well, part of the bait with this Span is that they can tell the homeowner your electric bill will only be $150 a month. So there's the bait. There's the carrot in front of the horse.
There's gonna have to do better.
It's that term that they were talking about with the cattle. Like there's your carrot.
Here's the thing too that I don't think they're really thinking about. They're not thinking about the ambition of your local meth head. I'm not thinking about that. Like, you can't keep solar storage outside in this area because people will strip it, sell it. With the precious metals put into these things, you couldn't keep. The day it went up, it'd be gone before you went inside to take a piss and came out.
Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Somebody moved a trailer in next to us because she's going to retire. This will be her winter home. She was gone for 3 months, came back down, and every drop of damn copper in that house is gone.
Hell yeah. The way it should be. The way nature says.
The way that it should be.
The way nature wants it to be.
You know, and here's the thing. Like I said, I've got cameras everywhere. And the first question is, do your cameras see my house? Okay, first off, it's not my responsibility to make sure your house is in view, you know.
Exactly.
But it's you know, and it's one of those things. I work. Mo's not home. I can't tell you what happens here from 6 a.m. until usually about 6 p.m. Yeah. But there are people in the neighborhood who can maybe go talk to some of them because that's probably part of the problem.
Well, the thing too, like I keep my cameras to where they look up and down the road every square.
Oh yeah, I can see a lot of the stuff next door, but you know, it's still not my responsibility.
It ain't my job to rat. I ain't a rat. Maybe that person needed their fix for the day.
I hear you.
Whose fault is it for not locking up better? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I said, I do think it's bullshit that, you can't, like say, you can't just leave something out because, it sat there for probably a month and somebody noticed that there wasn't anyone actually living there. So, okay, well, hey, nobody's here during the day. I'll just go take what I need.
Well, I've ran into an issue where I've got some like junk metal and stuff laying around the house I want people to steal.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in like access areas, like come get this, and it just
I will put stuff out on the side of my we can put stuff on the side of our street, and the county comes through every couple of weeks and cleans. You put brush out there, you can put metal or anything else, and they will come through. 95% of the time, if I put it on that street, it's gone within an hour.
It's bizarre, Alan. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. I've got one that's had batteries for 2 years that's not went bad, and then I've got another one that doesn't go off a lot, and the batteries go out like every 4 months.
Yeah, same. I've got one down at my chicken pen. That one goes out quicker because the chickens are constantly moving. You
can set it to only detect humans, which it's your chickens.
Well,
maybe you want to see predators.
That's exactly why we have it out there, because of animals. And,
I mean, after you strip copper for a couple hours, you get pretty damn hungry.
Right, that too. More specific, I've got a beagle that has actually broken into my chicken pen and taken out most of my flock. And she's still alive at the moment, but if it ever happens again, we may be eating puppy dog. So, put it this way, my granddaughter raised the baby chickens that she took out and asked her dad, what does it cost to hire somebody to take out a dog? And this is the one who loves animals. I mean, this kid rescues spiders and wants to take the beagle out.
But here's the thing too, like those cameras that we have, you can also get solar panels for those, and you don't have to replace the batteries.
Yeah. I have solar panels on all of my lights outside that come on, motion detectors. They're all solar.
Totally turn me off those, and they're actually pretty dope. You can get tons of accessories for them.
They got new doorbells, by the way, that wire in.
Nice.
So they don't use batteries, which is going to be a game changer whenever those come out in the next little bit. But I got so this one isn't really food, but it is water. And there's a place in West Virginia. This is not making news.
No,
it's not making news. And this is absolutely insane.
Is this where the mine?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I've never seen anything like that. The DEP's been known to stretch the truth a little bit. Looks like a scene out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
They said they cleared the drain out, and now about 5 miles up the road, all the stream's contaminated.
Yeah.
First thing came to mind was, hey, we need to get a hold of DEP. They said, hey, we're going to send our guy out all day yesterday. It was me and a few other people out, none of them. Midnight, we were out taking samples, and we seen the dead wildlife. We seen everything moving downstream.
It's a mess.
Is it?
See the acid mine drainage guys? Railroad did not cause this.
When you say the railroad, what do you mean, Richard?
They're trying to blame the railroad was messing with the culvert down here, and that's why it started coming out. But as you can see, it's coming out at the top. That's all acid mine drainage right through there. Look at this.
Holy shit.
So basically all of this is just acid mine runoff. And it's contaminating all their water. It's corroding this railway, all kinds of stuff. I can't continue to play that video though, because it has copyrighted music in it. I realized.
Yeah, but things like that happen everywhere too. Especially where all these old mines and stuff were. I don't know. We have old mines over in Clay Cane, but they were old strip jobs, and they made some ponds, but they're like crystal clear and like clean water. I wonder how they pulled that off.
Well, yeah. Okay, so one we can play.
being completely preoccupied with the situation in Portsmouth, I completely missed this interview about the data center they just broke ground on in Pike County, Ohio, that's going on the site of the gaseous diffusion plant or the nuclear enrichment facility or the A plant, whatever you know it by. And I don't think the human brain can actually comprehend what he's saying. Listen to this shit. And I have something just as mind-blowing about the Scioto County data center. Stay tuned for that at the end.
If it was done today, it would be bigger than all of the other AI data centers in the world combined. So it is just gigantic in scale.
What? Is there even enough room in all of Pike County for that? So we're not just talking about the over 200 in Ohio, the over 4,000 in the United States. He said larger than the over 11,000 data centers in the world combined. Let that try to sink in for a second. Well, whatever they're not using for the data center, they'll need for air defense. I can promise you that, because by the time you add in the gigantic natural gas plant they're going to build too, and I'll get to the bullshit around that in just a second, that just became target number one for our enemies. And I don't mean to scare anybody that lives close. I just don't know why in the hell we would concentrate those type of operations at that scale all on one site. And speaking of that natural gas plant, let's get into the lie about that.
Since SoftBank will generate its own power, the CEO and federal officials say this project will not raise electric bills for residents.
And now that the news ladies lied to you, let Nutlick lie to you. And as soon as old Lutnick's done, I'll explain exactly why it's a lie and why it only takes about 2 brain cells to figure it out. That's how stupid they think we are.
This will produce reliable, affordable energy in the United States of America. It will drive down the price of local electricity.
Except the natural gas plant you're building won't even cover the power needed by the data center, let alone provide any for the grid that could drive our prices down. If they actually wanted to do that, they would build this natural gas plant and not the AI data center. 9.2 gigawatts is enough to power every single house in Ohio. Okay, now back to debunking the bullshit. Well, like I said, it only takes 2 brain cells and 3 seconds to figure out that 9.2 gigawatts is less than 10 gigawatts, which is what will be needed. Simple math shows you're missing 0.8 gigawatts, and that is 800,000 kilowatts, or enough to power 650,000 houses. So where are they going to get that missing electricity they need? From the same people as the residents in the area, AEP. So of course that's going to drive rates up, because these data centers are willing to pay enormous prices for everything. Hell, just wait till you hear how much they paid per acre for the land in Scioto County. Oh, we're to that part? Okay, well, let's do it. Tilted Gate LLC from Wilmington, Delaware, bought from a company in Atlanta, Georgia, 700 acres in Franklin Furnace, Ohio. And guess how much they paid? Nope, more than that. Nope, more than that. We're talking Google here. $100 million for 700 acres of Franklin Furnace field. That is $143,000 an acre. So let's run all of that back to make sure everybody understands. So a Wilmington, Delaware company paid $100 million to an Atlanta, Georgia company for a field in Franklin Furnace, Ohio, for Google to build a data center. And when you add in that 75% tax abatement for 15 years, you really can't make this shit up. Might as well give a $4 trillion company a tax break. Why not? Scioto County doesn't need that money anyways. Well, my rant's over. Appreciate you sticking around till the end. Stay tuned for the next one. And in the meantime, keep.
I love how he faithfully and with a straight face says, do they think we're that stupid? Yeah,
They do.
Yeah, they do. And sadly, a lot of people are, because we have people that just think it's great that we're building 6 data centers in Mississippi.
It's not great.
Over
And it just in Utah this week, did you see the meeting where there's like 1,000 people protesting and the council leaves and goes into the room and approves it? 1,000
no, I missed
people
that.
screaming to not build it.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's
And
our
they
governor's
leave.
doing it without anybody having a say so because he's on his way out. He doesn't care. He's trying to move up because he can't run for governor again. He's served both terms, so he has plans. And it's well, look at all I brought to Mississippi. Okay, like I said, they're not paying any income tax for decades. They don't have to pay taxes on any materials that they buy within the state to build them. And each one literally will have 50 permanent jobs when they're done.
The
50.
mating. What do you mean, eldest?
Man.
FUCT, dude.
Yep. Yeah. That's essentially it. Like, Jesus.
I think about the Fifth Element where, to hide, you go down into the fog because it's nothing but pure pollution and gas and stuff. You have to go up to get above all of it.
Bro. we do have a hard time speaking around here.
That's true.
But I didn't say anything.
You say stuff all the time. Shut up.
Get on here with us, eldest. Let's see how good you fucking speak.
Leave people alone, fuck, man. But I mean, like, I don't know, the whole data center thing. Didn't China figure out a way to put their data centers in the ocean? But even if we did that, that's still not good for the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, there's no instance in which data centers are going to be good.
I was about to say, where's our kick mod? No, I'm joking.
But leave elders poo alone.
No, there's nothing good about this because I've heard of other places talking about, we're just going to put him where the old nuclear power plant is and they'll fuel themselves and yada, yada, yada. But they're still dumping all this crap into the ground and we're already having problems, with food contamination.
Yeah.
So let's just pour more poison in the ground.
So with the data centers, is this going to be our government in the future?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Microsoft is starting 3 Mile Island. That doesn't even surprise me.
Just why don't they put it out? Well, they have to have water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, why not water to cool it all off?
7 mile acre long data center in Antarctica.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, they're not going to put crap in Antarctica because the aliens will lose their shit and take us all out. Dude, I would hurt you.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. Jenny has a new conspiracy theory. She just started on X. So
but hey, here's the thing though, Kinder. I'm gonna be honest with you. At least you can take chicken crap and put it on your garden and it helps things grow.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But
okay, I got took out. Let me hang on. I gotta hit a video. Hang on. We're hitting a video.
So the microplastics are everywhere. Okay, I'm going to use my Stanley. Oh, wait, but if you don't wash it every second, there's going to be mold in it. And then the water that I fill up my Stanley comes from my Brita, which is also plastic microplastics. Okay, fine. Now let's maybe get a salad, get healthy. The lettuce gets sprayed with pesticides. Got it. If I go to the store and get a salad, it's also coming in a plastic container for $19. Got it. Okay, let's move on to fish. Fish is healthy. Okay, so I get a salmon. Make sure it's wild caught, farm grown, whatever the fuck. Okay, wait, but they also might have parasites in it and worms in it, and the container is also plastic. Okay, fine. So now let's move on to chicken. Chicken, also fake chicken in a plastic container. Got it. If I go to McDonald's, I could get 4 pieces for $1. Great, but it's also fried and disgusting and fake chicken. Okay, fine. Then it's like, oh my God, maybe I'll have a little piece of candy. Oh wait, I can't because there's red 40 in it. There's arsenic in these candies, and then it's also wrapped in plastic. Okay, great. So now I'm just gonna live off ice ice cubes, right? Oh, wait, you can't because your ice tray is also plastic. And then the water that you filled your ice tray with comes from your Brita that's also plastic. Got it. So now let's just lose weight. Oh, wait, your hair starts falling out. Like, are we joking? I give up.
No. She's 90% right, but my ice cube trays are silicone, and my water is well water. So
okay.
Oh, did you see what Kinder said? That makes sense. When they were doing studies about microplastics, they realized they were using plastic gloves and their measurements were thrown off.
well, that makes perfect sense.
That's crazy, actually. I never even thought about that.
No.
Well, that could be cause for some of the PFAS too. That's interesting. I need to look into that, Kinder. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk it? That might be something. But I mean, I don't know, man. Literally everything here within the United States is designed. Totally. Is designed to make us secure or something. I don't know. Chill out, boy.
All right, what else you got, Tully? I want to piss us off some more.
Let's go.
Currently 11:49 p.m. East Coast time on Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. At the time of the recording of this video, I am of sound mind, and I would never disappear without telling friends and family where I was going. I also do not wish to harm myself or others. Meet Aaron D'Souza, the CEO of Objection, which is a technology company that has developed an AI tribunal that tests claims in the media. And then it acts as jury and judge. And if this sounds like a Black Mirror episode, unfortunately, it is not. It is a real thing. Here's what you need to know about him. This is directly from Objection's website. Aaron D'Souza is the founder and CEO of Objection, the AI tribunal for testing claims made in the media. He is also the founder of the Enhanced Games and led Peter Thiel, yes, that Peter Thiel's historic litigation against Gawker Media involving the wrestler Hulk Hogan. He was the foundation editor of the journal Jurisprudence and had, notice that's in past tense, a law degree from Oxford University and PhD in intellectual property law. He is the author of 3 books on law, intellectual property, and philosophy. The video I'm about to show details this AI tribunal, and it is scary, and that is understandable. But because it is scary, that is the reason why it needs to be shared. Share this with at least 5 people after you watch this video, because this puts me, my friends, my fellow creators, and even those politically disaligned with us in danger. If someone who speaks out and says something against what I say, opposing beliefs, morals, and values, I want them to be able to say that, because that is free speech. That is the First Amendment right. And if they are silenced, so am I, and vice versa. This is what this seeks to do. We will not have anything but state media if something like this truly comes to fruition.
Journalists ruined your reputation, not with evidence, with a narrative. And when they come for you, there's no way to fight back. Until now. Introducing Objection, the first AI tribunal. Former CIA and FBI agents will investigate. They gather evidence and make it public, permanently. The AI tribunal checks the record and renders the verdict. You can save your reputation in days, not years. From the team that bankrupted Gawker, mastermind Aaron D'Souza, comes Objection. Truth isn't what goes viral, it's verified. File an objection.
This is like the final boss of shitty fact checkers.
Yeah, because that's what I'm. Okay, it's AI. What's it learning from? If they're feeding it nothing but crap, then nothing's going to be unbiased and balanced.
You know,
we're already there, so that's what we're going to get to feed these models.
You know, there was a time before internet was real prevalent where everything we did wasn't taken, a picture wasn't taken, put online, and we didn't post everything, and we didn't text each other every second. So if they come in and they say that you did something like 25 years ago, how is this going to defend you on that? You know what I mean? There's no record of it.
No.
That's your word against mine. Because luckily for me, most of my shenanigans took place before all this stuff.
Right?
I didn't have phones.
If they were wearing body cams and all that stuff, we'd be up the creek.
Like, if I didn't have a cell phone till I was in my 20s, like 22, 23 years old. So,
and it was a conspiracy. It was a major conspiracy back then. The phones were listening to you.
Yeah. That's what
people called me crazy for saying that.
I refused to get a cell phone because of that. I had one cell phone as a track phone that my dad made me take with me when I went four-wheel riding, just in case I got in a wreck, so I could try to call somebody if I had service.
Yeah.
It did come in handy twice, though.
Look, I worked for a major phone company and refused to have a smartphone for like 3 years after I left there.
Yeah.
You know, I had an old Motorola Razr. Remember those?
Yeah.
I had that when all my friends had the latest and greatest. And I'm like, nope.
That's what I'm saying, Kinder, dude. If there was footage of some of the stuff we did,
yes,
it would ruin lives. Every time, and this is a guilty pleasure, but like those body cam videos on YouTube and stuff of people acting crazy.
Yeah, I love watching them.
I love watching them, but it literally would have ruined our lives as young people if that would have existed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it would have kept us honest, Tully.
With the way the world is now, we'd probably be rich.
That's true.
There are a lot of things that I can remember, you know, years later saying, wow, if I had known then what I know now, I'd be retired right now. You know, I mean, but yeah.
I had a chance to buy
Hindsight.
400 Bitcoin for like $120.
Mhm. I have a friend whose ex-father-in-law was just coming into technology. You know, their bookkeeping was just going to computers and stuff like that. And somebody, his broker tried to get him to buy Microsoft shares at $2.50 a share. And he told him, I'm not wasting my money. It is a fad. And if you say the word Microsoft in front of him to this day, he will turn beet red and walk away.
Yeah.
So,
My
you know,
rationale was, why would I give you money for fake money? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all fake.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now it's all fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah. So this right here, how does with that right there with all the AI coming in? I guess that would be the ministry of truth.
Yeah. I'm assuming elders talking to me. My Snapchat, I don't have Snapchat.
You are Mama. Cecil's got bigger titties than all of us.
I do have OnlyFans you can go subscribe to, so I'll
You can
send
go
that.
see Cecil's feet.
Yep. You can see more than that if you pay.
Lordy.
All right. Let's see what we got. So this is the last one of these, and then I'll just shout some random stuff and we'll pick one.
I am on the bottom left. That's what my wife calls me. Good job. Actually, when I'm walking through the house, my wife goes, "Hey, Big Mama, what's up?"
media is refusing to talk about how the CDC is quietly updating all of the developmental and milestone guidelines for babies and young children to accommodate for the fact that kids are developing slower. While previously the CDC says that it's healthy for your child to be able to say their first word by 12 months old, that's now been pushed back to 15 months old. And while they used to say that your 2-year-old or 24-month-old should have a vocabulary of about 50 words, they've now pushed that back to 30 months. You're now right on track if your 2-year-old can say 2 words. Other milestones were completely removed from developmental guidelines is the ability for your baby to crawl, which normally happens between 7 and 10 months old, but now is not a normal milestone of development. So the CDC is trying to make the argument that they're only changing these guidelines to accommodate for the average of when kids are hitting them, not to signal a delay in development. But it quite literally is a delay in development. What used to be normative cognitive milestones for children to be hitting at certain ages are on average.
Okay, I've got a question. Remember we covered some of the laws in Great Britain that had been recently passed where it's okay for close family members to marry.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
I mean,
Yeah, there's definitely an argument against it right there.
Yeah, my youngest daughter started walking at 9 months old.
Yeah. I was walking and
9
talking
months.
My daughter also, she could carry on a full conversation with you as an adult at 18 months.
I did it out of necessity as a child because, like, the cars weren't going to call themselves out. Dad had to drive, so somebody had to look for the car we was looking for, you know. Standing up out the passenger window, like, go Cadillac 1985. Same color, red. Look like El Dorado Day, I ain't sure.
Okay, I'm picking some cool stuff. Oh, they took a video down. Some of the stuff gets took down before we can even watch it.
Sweet.
Which says everything.
Yes, Jenny. My youngest daughter, she was jabbering away at between 3 and 4 months old. I couldn't understand what she was saying, but she was carrying on the whole conversation. It's just
kids. The thing about kids is they've always talked a lot. Like, I feel like sometimes Mandy just learned how to talk because of actually use all the words. But no, like, it's weird that they're dialing back the milestones. Do you think that's because people just like kind of shove an iPad or a phone in kids' face now or something?
I think that would have a lot to do with it.
Helpful at all.
Mm.
That is not helpful at all because
It was
it would be one thing if you were putting a tablet in front of a child and it was teaching phonics or something like that, but it's generally just mindless entertainment.
Yeah.
So I brought this next one.
Like, they put us in front of TVs when I was a kid, you know, but I did still go outside and stuff.
I was going to say, no, we got put in the yard, you know.
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't play unless it was storming.
Kicked out of the house.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean,
Drink out of the hose. I love it.
when I was a kid, going outside was like what I wanted to do. Like, if you was in trouble, you had to come inside. Like, yeah, shit.
And we didn't want to be hanging around the grown-ups.
I did.
You know.
I like hearing the
Oh,
jokes.
no. We, you know, it weren't fun. We wanted to be playing. We didn't want to be hanging out inside with Mama and her friends.
Jump board.
Is that the one where it was the ball was in the middle of it and you had to jump up and down? You remember, like, you had the rack?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I used to play that. I don't know if that's what that is or not.
Jump board. I don't remember that specific name. I had jump rope. So.
Jump board. Jenny, we may need a tutorial.
Yeah.
So the next video I brought because my wife was like, have you ever heard of this? And I'm like, yes. That's like asking me if I know who Joe Rogan is. But this is apparently is a conspiracy that a lot of people don't know about, like your average everyday people. I think we all probably know about this, but it's kind of crazy.
Before you play that, I want to talk about a fun game that we played. Me and my cousins, what we would do, we'd stand back to back, and one of our cousins would hold a knife in their hand and throw it straight up, and then we take off running. You ever play that?
Nope. What was it called?
It's just fun, you know, make sure you didn't get stabbed.
Yeah, Mumbly Pig was a game that used to be played quite a bit.
Joe Who, Ronnie, yeah.
Joe Exotic, we talked to him before. All right, go ahead and play it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Deep in the woods of New York, behind guarded gates, lies a vision of ancient China reborn.
What is this place? It's another world, and for us, it's like a sanctuary.
This private sanctuary is Dragon Springs, 400 acres where faith and art share the same stage. It is the creative center of Shenyun, the epic stage production of Chinese history, legends, and politics.
We are putting on stage the tyranny.
I don't know if they say this or not, but Shenyun they left China because they were going to get killed. Like I don't know that it's a good thing though. Like that's to be determined.
Of the CCP.
Ying Shen is a vice president and conductor with Shenyun, and the CCP is the Chinese Communist Party. It calls the group behind the show an evil cult.
To be clear, I'm not saying that they should be killed. I'm just saying it does seem very culty.
Known as Falun Gong, it's a spiritual movement rooted in Buddhism.
Use the rotation of the Falun to rectify all abnormal conditions of the human body.
That's founder Li Hongzhi demonstrating Falun Gong's meditation exercises. He started teaching the practice in 1992. Falun Gong spread quickly throughout China, and Beijing responded.
China today banned a popular religious group that's been challenging communist rule.
The government now considers Falun Gong its public enemy #1.
Ying Shen says practitioners were imprisoned and tortured, including her own family.
My mom and my brother was sent to a labor camp, and he endured 18 months of agony, and his survival was a fragile miracle. He was literally tortured every single day.
Founder Li Hongzhi settled in the US and in 2006 launched Shenyun. It would ask much of his followers, including Jeff Sun and Ashley Cheng.
Li Hongzhi made it quite clear that Shenyun was the highest form of how practitioners can support the movement.
Now married, Sun and Cheng both grew up in Falun Gong families. We spoke with them from their home in New Zealand. Their parents sent them in the late 2000s to a boarding school at Dragon Springs, where young performers train for Shenyun.
The entire community I grew up in was very proud of me. They thought it was a great honor to live with Li Hongzhi in that compound.
As if like I made it to Harvard.
He was 15. She was 13, nearly 9,000 miles from home.
Everything was very isolated, and our main job is to dance.
What were you told about having any contact with the world outside of Dragon Springs?
If our parents asked any questions, we had to tell them that we were happy, that Master, which is Li Hongzhi, was taking great care of us.
The reality, Sun and Cheng claim, was they were part of a group of child laborers living in constant fear.
I was in survival mode. It's about not exceeding 100 pounds every day. It's about following the footsteps of the person in front of me so I don't get yelled out of line.
There's no one we can talk to, the adults there who are your educators, but also your persecutors. You want to speak how you feel to them, but the next day you get told that you're thinking different to everybody else, that you are the problem.
That was the weight of the mind. The body, they say, would bear its own.
2 kids kind of pushed my legs open in the side split, and it was the most amount of pain I ever experienced, ever. I had internal bleeding. My entire inside of my legs, both legs, was purple. But every day I still had to do the same thing. My shoulder was stretched for an abnormal amount of time once, and I lost all feeling in it. So I had issues from showering to going to the bathroom.
Did you ever tell your instructors about your injuries?
Yeah, I did. And I was faced with the eye roll. I have not had or seen a single pill of medicine during my entire duration.
Sun and Chang are part of a growing group of former dancers contending that medical care was discouraged, a belief they say is rooted in Falun Gong teachings.
I think that's enough, but
Yeah,
you get the idea.
I mean, it does seem a little cultish, for sure.
It comes to Cincinnati every year.
You know, I remember a few years ago. Okay, you know, as a general rule, when you think of Buddhism, you think of it as being a very peaceful, loving belief system.
Yeah.
But just the atrocities that were done against the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar by Buddhists. You know, there have been multiple situations where they like try to wipe out entire groups.
You get that with religious zealots a lot of times.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why, you know, you always have to be willing to own the fact that every faith, every deep belief system is going to have the radicals that make it all, it makes it look bad for everybody that's doing it right.
Yeah.
And everything. But yeah, so like I said, you know, 10 years ago, seeing something like that, I'd be, wow, really? Buddhists? They would never do that. No, they definitely would. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I've got, I think, 2 more.
Before you do that, let's go. I thought we had a moment. I've reached out to my wife about you taking me on a date, and she said that's perfectly cool. Somebody's got to do it. So email us.
I think that was the eldest, if you're still listening.
Yeah.
You can take Clarence on a date.
Yeah, my wife told me about it because we can't really afford to go out much anymore, and she wants me to have a good time. So
yeah,
that's so sweet of her. I love it.
Yeah. If eldest don't take you, I'll take you on a date, Cecil.
I don't kiss on the first
date. Next weekend, yeah, I'll take you on a date.
Take your whistle with you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been on a good date.
All right. So Rando Nautica. I ain't heard nothing about this in a long time, but
remember the Rando Nautica app? I don't think you realize how strange Rando Nautica really is. Have you ever wondered why so many people have had terrifying experiences while using the app? People have even been led to literal crime scenes. We all know about the suitcase incident, where a group of teens were using the Rando Nautica.
Alan, if you can get him bought in, I would totally reach out to him.
Yeah.
App in West Seattle and followed the app's coordinates to a remote beach. That's where they found a suitcase filled with human remains. The app is supposed to take you to a random location when you set an intention. For example, if your intention is something scary, the app uses a random number generator to pick coordinates that will lead you somewhere scary. But the thing is, the app has no real way of knowing what your intention really is. In reality, you're just supposed to focus on it in your head. So how would it know where to lead you based on something that's in your head? On the app's website, it talks about something called the Fatum Project, which in simple terms is the idea that our minds and intentions can somehow influence random events in the physical world. The creators talk about mind-matter interaction, meaning that when you focus on a thought or intention like crime, death, or something happy, the app...
I don't disagree, Jenny, and I'll tell you why after the video.
app uses random quantum coordinates that somehow line up with that energy, which by the way has not been proven true. There are multiple theories about this app. Some people say it's just psychology and coincidence. Your brain sees what it wants to see, kind of like confirmation bias. Another disturbing theory is that there are actually people, possibly from the dark web, behind the app, who purposely send users to terrifying locations or even crime scenes. But a lot of people believe it goes much deeper than that. Maybe it's something more supernatural. When you open yourself up and willingly invite darkness, something is going to answer. For example, a woman named Taylor Vasquez had a very demonic experience while using Randonautica.
Alright, so I think I gotta go this way down the creek. Alright, this is what I found so far. Pretty creepy. I'll go see what that is. Okay, so I just opened up one of the photos, and it's whatever the that is. Then we have these random three. This one's it's your birthday with the snowman. And these two I just put together. It's like, play with me. Alright, I think it was just my imagination. I think I'm just hearing shit, but I'm trying to read these. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me. I swear I'm friendly. Play with me. And tell me if you guys think that looks like a ghost child, because I don't know.
Yeah, I never messed with that. Did you see the woman running at them down the trail? Wouldn't your first instinct be kick her in the fucking chest?
Yeah,
like,
Spartan kick. Bam!
Like, that's my first instinct.
Yeah, that right there was almost like a Criminal Minds episode going over.
Dude, I'm telling you, so whenever it was popping off, it was pre-COVID. So when this app came out, it's like 2018, 2019, probably. I downloaded it because you already know, like, we figure stuff out quick. And I'm like, okay, take me to, because it pops up and it's like, set your intention on what you want to look for. And you set your range, like how many miles you're willing to travel. So me, of course, I was like, take me to some gold. I was like, take me to some gold.
Yeah.
And it sets a coordinate like 6 miles down the road. So we go, and we're about a mile away from the target location. And we're on a small country road, like super tight, super curvy. And we get close to the target, like can see it. And all of a sudden, like, we're stopped because there's nobody behind us. There's nobody in front of us. We're in a super tight curve, but we can see like the straight stretch behind us. So it's not like we were stopped where somebody could hit us. And all of a sudden you hear brrr, and it was a drift car coming around the curve and almost hit us head on.
Yeah.
Like they were drifting around the curve, almost hit us head on and skirted past us. And then we look on to where the target was, and there was a house. I don't know how to explain this. There was like 6 people on the porch just staring. So I don't know if they knew that there was like a drift thing happening or what, but the only time we used that app, we almost got killed by somebody drifting around a curve.
Well, your gold, you was thinking about gold, and gold is money. So if they would hit you head on and you didn't die, the insurance payout. It's kind of like that thing. It's kind of like, if you get 3 wishes, you can.
It's like the bad genie. Yeah. Like the bad genie.
The bad happens. Yeah.
That's it. Be careful what you wish for. And I firmly believe in intent and being able to manifest. I think that that's the way magic works. I think that that's the way prayer works, that you have, but I also believe you have to believe it here for it to actually happen.
Dude, I would love to drive an old Chevelle.
Oh, they're fun as shit if you ever get a chance. Like a real monster one.
Yeah.
That's like a super sport. And I got to drive one time, and then I came back and the guy said, "You're never driving that again."
Well, that's understandable.
Well, as soon as I got an eye shot, I laid on the pedal, and I didn't realize I was still within earshot. So. But it was nice. It was nice.
I don't even know.
Let me drive it.
I don't even know what these last two videos are, to be honest. We may be shocked.
You had 4 videos ago.
Stunned. Stunned. These are the last ones. Let's see.
Hey everybody. So I have finally received like direct confirmation through the Epstein files that there are organizations that use ELF waves or extra low frequency waves and radio waves and microwave technology to neurally monitor people. Like there is technology in existence. You want to talk about conspiracy theories? It's no longer a conspiracy. There is technology in existence today and in use today that can read your mind through long distance radio wave technology. The people that are victims to this, they're called targeted individuals, and they target children, not just adults. They can sexually stimulate your body by exploiting your nervous system. And they can do this using like the 5G radio towers. I don't know if you guys have like heard the conspiracies and stuff like that from like way back, how like 5Gs would be abused. But if you're wondering why you're not mad enough, my theory is that it's from these 5G towers that they can alter your psychological chemistry, like your nervous system's chemistry, to prevent you from getting angry, to prevent you from feeling happy. They can make you feel sad, and they can also make you feel sexually stimulated. It can come from your TV. It can come from your Wi-Fi router, your cell phone, everything. But now we have direct proof. I'm going to put the Epstein number in the caption below. But what I'm doing is I'm getting parts this Saturday, and I'm going to attempt to build like a radio that should capture and parrot the signals that people get bombarded with, because that way the courts can take us seriously. But now we have direct proof that these weapons are in use today. So thank you for listening.
Well, that explains why I'm always feeling like that.
I think that they had an adverse effect on me because I stay angry.
It's EFTA 000800475. That's crazy though.
EFTA 000478045.
It's close.
Okay.
000800475 is the Epstein file number for that.
0475. All
right.
Did y'all see where the dude made a library? They printed out every one of the released Epstein files. It is being done by invitation only between May 8th and the 28th, I think it is. You have to petition for entrance. And if they approve you, then they will give you the location of where it's located at. It's something like 3,200 binders.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of ink. They paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, they did.
I just, I don't know. Like I think the reason people aren't rising up is because we have too many distractions. But that could be a factor if it's real.
Are you going to rise up against? Are you going to rise up against the Epstein files? Are you going to rise up against the war? Are you going to rise up against the aliens? Are you going to rise up against the pandemic that's looming in front of us? Are you going to rise up against your governor coming out and passing shit to open up data centers that's going to destroy your water? Are you coming up against the people that's poisoning your food? Like there's just so much.
Well, that's the problem.
Let's cut off the head of the monsters and let's see what happens.
Give me the glove.
Yes,
are you going to rise up against AI? Or AI taking over your vehicles?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like
that's insane to me. The fact that you can, I mean, the way that you act when you are super uber stressed is going to prevent you from being able to use a vehicle in an emergency.
And the vice versa, as people with anger problems like myself and Tolly, when we get in the car,
I don't have anger problems.
And it won't start, and we start beating the dashboard, going, "Start, you piece of shit!" Like,
and then you're on a rampage.
want to call the cops on us for being overly aggressive.
Your car calls the cops. Yeah.
Your car calls the cops because it feels that it's now in a
So we
abusive
really
relationship.
have entered the minority report
Mm-hmm.
We have
part of life.
We're 99% there. Well, I would say 97.84.
Look at what Alan said. That's not too crazy. There's a country that has a representative that has 700 kids. That's an AI.
Yes, what is it? It's like their cyber
Azerbaijan.
something, isn't it?
Azerbaijan, yeah,
Yes.
or somewhere like that.
Get it, man. I don't understand the rollout of complete control is upon us. It's here. It's right in our immediate future. It's so strange that we made it to this point. I didn't think, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. No, that one girl says, this isn't a Black Mirror episode. No, our entire existence right now is a Black Mirror episode. And I'm going to tell you what, this timeline sucks. I want to reset.
You might get one.
Seems like we're headed towards one.
Mm-hmm. And you will never hear the words come out of my mouth in the context of it can't get worse or what else can go wrong. Those are two statements I do not make. No. Because I know it can always get worse and it definitely can be bad. But it's like just reset already.
My mind has went so fried. When I was a kid and I went to the theaters, I watched Independence Day. I was terrified. I was like, man, aliens, when they come, they're gonna fuck us up. I watched it the other day and I was like, ain't too bad.
This is a good segue, actually. The very last video, it's actually a great segue. So it's about a certain movie producer.
Do you know that the producer of Fight Club, King of Comedy, 12 Years a Slave, Pretty Woman, and much more was a spy who was stealing nuclear technology from the United States and also serving as an arms dealer between apartheid South Africa and Israel? You know that people like Robert De Niro knew about this and did absolutely nothing. Here's De Niro in the 80s with his good buddy Roman Polanski in Poland, and also the person I'm talking about, Arnon Milchan. Also know that the FBI knew about this under Reagan and could have prosecuted Arnon, but didn't because of pressure from the Israeli ambassador to the United States at the time, Benjamin Netanyahu. The FBI also had a chance to prosecute him under Bush in 2001 when his accomplice Richard Kelly Smith was extradited to the United States and went to prison. Arnon was left untouched and comfortable in Malibu. He was already 10 years in with the production company he founded, Regency Enterprises, which he produced Brazil, The War of the Roses, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, LA Confidential, Fight Club, Pretty Woman, the list goes on. Starting in 1974, he was already a spy recruited by Shimon Peres. According to Shimon, that was between 1974 and 1977, but according to Arnon, he was a 20-something James Bond, and he was born in 1944, so that would imply he was actually a spy before 74. The thing is, he was a spy who bragged about being a spy. You don't have to take my word for it. Here's Robert De Niro.
You know that the years that you were doing King of Comedy and Once Upon a Time in America were perhaps the most dramatic years for him.
Yes.
In that respect.
Yes.
Did you notice anything back then?
I did ask him once. We spoke about something, and he told me that he was an Israeli and that he of course would do these things for his country. There's something with the things that trigger a thing. I remember some point I had asked Arnon about that. Being friends, I was curious, but not in an accusatory way. I just wanted to know. And he said, yeah, I did. I'm Israeli. That's my country.
Arnon was not just working for the interests of one illegal nuclear program. It was actually two, because he was also working for apartheid South Africa, according to his own words, to be promoting the apartheid regime in South Africa in exchange for helping Israel acquire uranium. You know, in 1977, one of the first things Arnon ever produced was a racist-ass South African musical he brought to Broadway, Ipi Tombi. Now, an important piece of strange information here is between 1966 and 1978, the Prime Minister of South Africa was a fucking Nazi, John Vorster. I'm being hyperbolic when I say that. During World War II, he was a chief general in the Afrikaner nationalist Assawabenwag in South Africa. 1976, Yitzhak Rabin hosted John in Israel, and the Nazi leader of apartheid South Africa laid a wreath at a Holocaust memorial. When it comes to weapons and their nuclear programs, it was Arnon who was at the center of all of it. He was smuggling were Crichtons, which are essentially nuclear triggers. These are illegal to export from the United States. Milshan took place in a lot of other espionage, but this particular operation was between January 1980 and December 1982. Richard Kelly Smith was an American physicist who worked with NATO, worked with NASA. He had a company in the US called Milco International. Now, Milco was an exporter of the triggers, so Smith started it all. Then Arnon was the intermediary. He ran 30 companies in 17 countries. One of those companies was the Heli Trading Company, and Arnon used that company to facilitate the export of the Crichtons to Israel. And we knew about this in the 80s and nothing happened. 2001, when Smith was brought back to the US, he snitched on Arnon, and again, nothing happened. You know that by this time, the nuclear collaboration between apartheid South Africa and Israel had been going on for a while. There was a nuclear test in September of 1979. It was called the Vela incident. Everyone knew it happened. No one could say what happened, but the world just kept spinning. But the space for nuclear testing is also something Israel was looking for in this relationship, whether it be in the ocean or in the desert. In exchange, there was tritium going back and forth, there were triggers going back and forth, and there was uranium going back and forth. So through Anon, they were trading regular weapons as well, so the South African government could perpetrate apartheid and commit violence against the majority population. Brings me back to when the South African government said the quiet part out loud after Vorster's visit. He said, quote, Israel and South Africa have one thing above all in common. They are both situated in a predominantly hostile world inhabited by dark peoples. In the United States, Arnon got away with all of this. Now he's involved with one of the corruption trials in Israel for Netanyahu. That's a topic for another video, and it goes much deeper, and it involves Hollywood. Speaking of Hollywood, this is also the man that helped get Leo his Oscar when he produced The Revenant. But all of Hollywood knew he was a spy, knew he was a traitor, and they said absolutely nothing. And now his son is the chairman and CEO of Regency. I barely scratched the surface here, but the key takeaway is one of the most prolific producers in the history of Hollywood was an arms dealer, and nobody seemed to care. Do you know?
I mean, you gotta make money somehow.
That's wild, though, dude.
It really is.
Triggers.
I mean, you don't really know how many of those people out there are like spies and things like that. What was it called that they were doing right after World War II, Stephen? When it might have been after World War One when they were infiltrating Hollywood and like black people. What was that called? It was some kind of operation. I can't remember.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help you out on that one right now at the moment. But it's. I
finally found something.
I know that they were the ones who were involved in making. Used to, all the movies were short. They were.
Where's our producer been with the like and subscribe comments?
But yeah, they were also the ones who started making longer movies as well. Yeah, with that right there,
isn't there a new feeling like the swamp somewhere in Florida or
yeah, they were out in the desert. They were doing sex rituals out in the desert, with Walt and who was the other guy that was out there with him?
Walter Ron.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard was out there.
L. Ron Hubbard,
and also that German scientist was out there with him as well. Yeah, and we were the ones who helped that country obtain some yellow cake uranium after World War II.
Well, the last person that didn't want them to have nukes got shot in the head. So, that's the precedent.
And there was a nuke lost in a swamp, I think. I don't know if it was Florida swamps or Alabama.
I know that we lost one off the coast of, I believe it was North Carolina. We lost one off the coast of North Carolina. There was, to my knowledge, it's never been recovered. So,
didn't we also drop a couple in Virginia one time that just luckily didn't detonate?
They didn't detonate. Yeah.
There's more than one.
It was two at one time.
Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The United States has lost 6 nuclear weapons in history.
That's the only. Those are the ones they're admitting to.
Yeah.
He's got one in his basement.
On February 13th, a B-36 bomber en route from Alaska to Texas dropped a 30-kiloton Mark IV bomb into the Pacific Ocean due to engine trouble. The bomb lacked plutonium core, but contained uranium. Uranium barely knew them.
That sounded like a drop bomb.
On March 10th, 1956, a B-47 bomber likely crashed in the Mediterranean Sea, losing 2 nuclear cores during a flight from Florida to Morocco. 1958, a fully armed MK-15 hydrogen bomb was jettisoned near Georgia after mid-air collision. It has never been recovered and remains at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
January 17th, 1966.
Allegedly.
A B-52 collided with a KC-135 tanker over Spain, scattering 4 B-28 thermonuclear bombs. 2 conventional explosives detonated, but the nuclear components did not. 1 bomb fell into the Mediterranean Sea and required a deep sea recovery. So I wonder, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the ones that actually went off.
Oh.
Like
Like when that car factory exploded in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that left a vacuum cloud and devastated almost a quarter of the city or something like that.
Yeah. Probably not a car factory.
Yeah, probably not.
That could have been true as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
That's it. And thank you all for hanging out. Thank the 1,500 people that swung by, roughly.
Yes.
Thank our kick mod, Kinder.
Yeah. I hope you didn't kick elders. I was wanting elders to email me because I really do want some like canes or something. If you're for real date,
Yes.
I'm stoked about it. I usually don't kiss on the first date, but if you're down for it, I mean, I'm whatever.
Yes. Thank you, Alan, for the correction. It was South Carolina. So.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. But yeah, go and check out Tully every Thursday night at 7 p.m. with like Cosmic Crumbs. I don't know when Till Death Do We Watch is coming out. I just did not like the production on the ones that I had, so I scrapped them. We're reshooting everything, so we'll see if it comes out better. I kind of changed. I don't want to be the focus of that one, so I'm trying to force Mandy into like the lead role in that. So, and between the notes, it's on backlog this summer.
Yep.
I want to start an AI band, but I know Tully give me shit about it, so I'm not doing it. I've got like notebooks full of like lyrics I wrote and stuff like that, and it just takes so long to record stuff. But with AI, I can do it in mere seconds.
Drain the lakes. Drain the lakes. Scorch the earth.
Our water's already fucked here, so I mean, put it right down here. Sorry, but I'm not gonna fix it. Use our toxic water to cool your AI center. That's going to be my motto, and I'm going to sell my 2 acres of land for $500,000 an acre.
Yep, that's what a cheeseburger will cost $20,000.
But yeah, tune in next Friday. Likely Tully and I will not be here. Steven and Morgana may be running something, but we'll know more closer to that time.
Yeah.
Tully is taking me on date, unlike Eldest, who was just bluffing, I believe. Don't come to this show bluffing, buddy. We'll take you up on it. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, and have a great rest of your night. See you next week. Or
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. And thank you all for watching us, because we're watching you.
Peace.
Whoa!